It is Thursday, February 26th. It is time to get in the weeds. I'm Jeremy Lambert. That is SP3. SP3, are you mile high today?
Oh man, I'm mile high. I'm living off the mile high from last night. I'm still on that mile high because what a way to end the show. Good stuff.
They didn't do the segment where they all came out of the Rascals locker room with the smoke cloud coming. I needed that
Missed
segment.
opportunity.
Otherwise, good stuff. But I'm gonna call them out for that much at the very least. How you doing with just in regards to everything? I saw you were up early watching New Japan this morning. I did not watch that show. I know what happens, but I
Yeah.
did not watch that show. But I heard it was a good show.
Oh, it was probably the best show of the Fantastica. Mostly Fantastica has been the Japanese commentary. This was the first show that they had with English commentary because Chris Charlton is based out of Tokyo, Japan, and the show was from Kurgan Hall. So always at Kurgan Hall, I say there's Madison Square Garden, there's the Tokyo Dome, there's Wembley Stadium, and Kurgan Hall. Those are like my favorite places, and Hammerstein Ballroom. Those like the top 5 places I love to watch a pro wrestling show from. Even Hammerstein Ballroom with their awful paint job that they've done, I still enjoy watching professional wrestling either in the building or watching it on TV from those buildings. And Kurgan Hall once again delivered a great New Japan show, highlighted by the main event. I said it on Twitter. I'll say it here. Go out of your way to watch Masquerade Dorada versus Hechicero. It's like they put 2016 Will Ospreay and Zack Sabre Jr. in a time machine, made them Mexican and luchadors, and that's what we got. You had this outrageously high flying athletic marvel versus the technical wrestling wizard, and Dorada has a spot that you have to see where he does a moonsault off the stage or off the entrance area. You want to show everybody you're eating
What you
pudding on
got,
the
Harlem?
stage?
Pudding?
He said, "Hi, Jeremy. Don't leave your stuff here. What you doing? Here, take your stuff. Take it with you. Throw it in the
Just
garbage."
she said she said this office is a trash can.
She just said,
She's
"Mama,
she's
I'm
like
in
she's like
it."
MJF. MJF's like, hey, I throw my gum in the trash, just tosses it in the crowd. She's like, I'm gonna throw my pudding in the trash, set it
She
down on the
said,
desk.
then just did like this. Like what?
I
I was
respect
like,
it.
no, you take your stuff with you. Like, what you doing here? But no, like I was saying, Dorada was awesome in the matchup. Hechicero was great as well. Yeah, you'll be hearing about that matchup a little bit more by the end of the episode. But yeah, I enjoyed that. It was also a great preview for tomorrow morning, which they got the final day of Fantastica Mania, which I will say, the one downside of Fantastica Mania is that I pay an exorbitant amount, way more than I should pay for professional wrestling on CMLL's YouTube channel, and the CMLL shows have not been at the quality that they usually are because instead of seeing Masquerade Dorada and Landis Jr. and
Mystico.
Mystico and Soberano Jr., we got Johnny Consuela in the main event of shows, and it just doesn't hit quite the same. But I am looking forward to tomorrow's show. A lot of wrestling going on tomorrow. Like you got Fantastica Mania, which is going to be headlined by Mystico versus Soberano Jr. in the morning. Then in the evening time, of course, there's SmackDown for people who like torture porn. And then you got CMLL's got Persephone versus Olympia, with the winner moving on to face Mercedes Monet. And then you also got the NJPW New Beginning USA show, which we'll do a little preview for that later on in the show. So a lot to enjoy tomorrow from pro wrestling throughout the day. And for those who like torture porn too.
Yeah, I think I'm on. I don't know what I'm covering tomorrow. I think I'm covering SmackDown tomorrow, unfortunately. But I'll have the New Japan show on. It'll.
Yeah.
I'll be watching it. But yeah, I think I'm on SmackDown coverage, unfortunately. So
I have
such
to
is
I have to
life.
cover that as well because I do the flagship podcast. I think I'm taking my first week off from the flagship podcast next Saturday though. Next Saturday is
Who's filling in?
it's the twins' birthday, so I let
Well,
them know. I let them know months in advance. I was like,
right, but who's filling in for you? Are you just taking it off, or you just do? Is
I'm
it Chrissy,
I'm just
JJ?
I didn't like ask anybody to fill
Okay.
in for me. It's just gonna be Chrissy and True Draw Josh. We got the
Oh,
whole
okay.
gang tomorrow, so it's a fitting way to send me off for my 1 week. This is the first flagship podcast I'm missing since my kids were born in
Wow.
2020. That was the last time I missed the flagship podcast.
Yeah, no days off for SP3. As we all know, we know that from this show that you don't take any days off. Uh, is Romeo going to be there? Is he a coward?
I'll ask him. I'll ask him. That's it. Well, he might have to fill in again on Rated Raw review because JJ
Oh,
made a guest appearance. He was like, after this show, he was like, I'm taking next week off too. He was like, he literally just came on the show to be like, this show was so bad. I think I might
I
take
think
off next week as well.
I think next week will actually be good though because isn't Roman on the show next week at the very least?
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
after
There's like,
Elimination Chamber.
but like we've had multiple of these raw episodes that only have one good segment. So Roman is
Yeah,
only accounted for one good segment.
yeah. I'm maybe I'm just being optimistic, which is foolish of me. They're coming off of Elimination Chamber. I had this is a terrible dream to have. By the way, I had a dream one of these nights of how Elimination Chamber's 4 matches, right?
Yeah.
Uh, the Punk and Balor match ended. It ended like Zarya and Sol Ruka with Dominic turning on Balor, and then Punk just like winning. And then AJ and Becky was like Natty and Maxine to where like it basically like didn't even start and Becky just beat the shit out of her and then like the match just ended. So 2 of the matches went like 30 seconds and then there was just the chamber matches and then like the crate segment was also part of this stream. So I basically have already watched Elimination Chamber in my
In your
dreams.
dreams,
Yeah.
in your dreams are
The show
nightmares.
sucks, everybody. Don't watch it.
I mean, that sounds like an episode of NXT where they had 2 matches that amounted to 3 minutes of television time between the speed matchup and then the women's championship matchup, which I've seen multiple people say they really loved NXT this week, and I was just like, what did y'all watch that I didn't watch?
This stuff happens. I always say this with NXT. Like, just stuff happens. And so people get tuned into the idea that it's a good show. And I don't even like fully disagree with that because I'd much rather a show like that than a show like Raw where it feels like nothing happens and the crowd is
This is true.
completely dead. And it's like, well, yeah, this show definitely sucks. I also think it gets graded on the WWE curve. Yeah. Of like, well, Raw really sucked. SmackDown is kind of taking a hit over the past few weeks being 3 hours. Oh, a bunch of stuff like happened on NXT, whether it was good or not, but we got like multiple title changes and different stuff being set up or ending. And it was only 2 hours. Yeah, this was a good show. Why not?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. There was some good stuff on the show. I won't go totally wrong. Of course, the great stuff was put your 2 fingers up in the chat, Vanity Project, baby. We on top. I told y'all. I tried to tell y'all about Kendall Gray. Tried to tell y'all about Callie Armstrong. Tried to tell y'all about the LFG crew with Shiloh Hill, Jasper, Troy, the Monster, the Reaper, and now the Vanity Project, all belt and AKA Vanity Project, AKA Honey, I Shrunk the Legacy, is on top, baby. We on top.
Honey, I Shrunk the Legacy. Put your 2 fingers up and put your thumbs up on the video. Everybody like that transition? Leave a thumbs up on the video. That helps us out. Subscribe to the channel. All that helps us out. And leave a super chat and get your question, comment, statement read on the air. I addressed this yesterday. I'll address it again because your sponge boy loves craps. Fantastic name. Dark State
Yeah, it's a
stocks
great
down.
name.
Yes, they are down, but if you have listened to SP3 and we work as an aggregate here, SP3.
We
One,
do.
don't listen to Joel ever. But if you
Yes.
listen to SP3 and I combined, you actually learn a lot more from him than from me. But I have good stuff every now and again. I said
We
get your
do.
Dark State stocks. I said after they won the titles, probably a good idea to sell them because they're not getting any higher than they are right now. So you should probably cash out on a fair amount of your Dark State stocks. And SP3 has been very high on the Vanity Project from the start. And I remember the first Evolve review that we did. Like I was high on them as well. Not as high as you, but I said it then. I was like, yeah, this is the best thing on the show. So I'm invested in these guys. They rule. So if you have your Vanity Project stocks, they're way up. Your Dark State stocks might be down, but you make up for it with the Vanity Project stocks. And if you sold your Dark State stocks after they won the tag titles like I told you to, you're down. You're all the way up. And if you got your Thea Hale stocks, you're way up there after Tuesday when she defeated Blake Monroe. So regardless, even if the Dark State stocks took a hit on Tuesday, you're still way up. Just listen to the show. Your stocks are good if you listen to this show. Your portfolio is excellent. Your ITW portfolio is in the top. I don't know how stocks and stuff work. We'll just say the top 1%.
I will say, man, all my shouts from Evolve and LFG, man, it does make NXT much better. So you know what? I take back what I said earlier. It was a good episode because it was a good episode for me. Shiloh Hill was on the show. You had Keanu Carver picking up a win against Sean Legacy was on the show. You had a Vanity Project winning. I'm just not as big of a fan as the Zaruka result because I was like. I literally said with Alex on the post show last week that the right direction to go to not only make Zarya come off as the jealous friend, but come off as a smart jealous fan is have her help Soul win the title and then turn on her and immediately get the title shot and wipe her out. Taking her out before the matchup, I had a whole debate with shout outs to Peps Wrestling because he's a good brother. He's a good brother, and I will debate with him. It's not arguing. I debate with him, and he was like, "Oh, this was shocking." I was like, "Shocking to who?"
I
was like, "This was the most obvious thing they ever did." Like literally, me and Alex joked that we were like, "The smart thing to do is this." So of course, NXT is going to do the opposite of that and probably do it right before the match even starts. And it happened. It literally happened. She turned on her before the match even started. So no, we can't get a good to great JC Jane versus Sol Ruka matchup before you do the turn. No, you got to do it a little bit differently from Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxton. Literally, when they did the angle 3 months ago, we have to do it right before the matchup. Shocking.
I feel like it was like 2 months ago. Oh, I feel like it was. No, it was definitely like 2 months ago. It was end of December.
It was Gold Rush. That was the end of November.
Was that end of November? I thought it was end of December. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
No, because they had a matchup at Deadline in the middle of December.
I'll take your word for it. Time has no value to me. It's like Lash Legend and Nia Jax are recently teaming together, so they can't win the titles. I will say this about the Zarya and Sol Ruka thing. At least because I'm with you. Why are you like attacking her before the match and then when you could just do it after she's the champion and then get the title shot? At least she's still getting a title shot out of it because she went to JC and was like, bitch, give me my title shot. And JC's like, okay, yes, ma'am. So at least she got a title shot out of that. No, look, everyone knows I'm terrible with time.
That was crazy with Joe yesterday. Joe. I saw somebody in the chat feel like Joel had his James Harden performance. I'll give Joel credit. Joel is usually on the money with like time constraints and stuff like that, but he was on one yesterday.
I don't know what was over. He got a contact high before the show yesterday. That's the only way.
He did admit that. He did admit that he did sniff it. He sniffed it, so that's contact high. That counts. I think that's all I want to talk about from NXT before we get into wrestling, though. I listened to it, Jeremy, and I'm sorry. You, the chat, did not do it justice. T.I. the right one is one of the best T.I.
Oh,
tracks in like a decade and a half. Oh my God. I did not. I was like,
he hasn't had a new track in a decade and a half.
that's what I'm saying. It's the best. Last time I heard a T.I. track was like 2014. I'm saying a decade and a half. I'm saying 15 years. It's been 15 years since he had that type of motivation. He had those type of bars. Yo, T.I.'s always been known for his hooks. But man, that was such a well done hook on a diss track. This is one of the best hooks I heard on the diss track since Not Like Us or Back to Back. Like he was like, "You think you Tyson? You not even my son. You're not as tough as my son." Oh, I was like, "Oh my God, this is so good." Then when he talks about his fight history, when he was like, "Cam called
Yeah, that
you
was
out
good.
on the
Yeah,
radio."
yeah. I did like, because again, Ti was saying stuff that everybody has kind of said before. Now he put it in a rap, and it was very good. Here's my issue with the diss track, and it's not that it's bad, and it's not even Ti's fault. 50's not going to respond, and like he was never going to respond, and so it almost feels like the track is not like a waste of time, but it falls a little bit flatter just knowing like you did this, it's good, but it's not going to lead to an actual like battle between you two.
I
I
mean
wish it
that
would.
that's a win. That's a win for Ti.
Oh, it's a win for
That's
Ti.
like
Yeah,
that feels like a first round knockout. You didn't get your verses, but the hip hop world is talking about you. Like I was talking about it earlier with Stat King that I do True Headphone Heat with, and I was like, our next episode of True Headphone Heat got to be about this. It can't even be about the Baby Keem album. I was like, poor Baby Keem. He didn't even get a week after his album drop, and he's already old news in the hip hop world. The hip hop world is all talking about this and reacting to this. And then he just came out with What a Bully. What a Bully. A second
he dropped another diss track. Yeah, I haven't heard that one yet, but I saw
that. To that right before we went on too.
Yeah, I saw that he came out with another one. I was like, okay. Like, I respect Ti.
I strongly disagree. It's not a waste of time because no one's done this. No one's done this. Come at 50 so hard on a track and without 50 coming out with a track first or doing anything. 50 has been going like almost nearly a decade strong on just being a social media gangster. And he created his whole reputation of being like a real life gangster because he survived 9 bullets. But even T.I. mentioned that he was like, you came into the hip hop industry, it got lit up by Murder Inc. It's like, oh damn! And then he talking about his mother getting murdered. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yeah, I did. Like, why you going?
It's crazy.
Yeah, why you taking shots at a mom is because you ain't had one and everything. Yeah, it's good. I think that nobody has done it because everyone knows it is a waste of time. Like 50's not gonna respond. He's just gonna troll online, and people are gonna laugh at his memes or whatever. And like, I respect that Ti went for it. I think it's good. I'll listen to the new one here in after the show. But it also, like, I hope something comes out of it, and I don't think it will. It's like, all right, cool. Ti gave us a good song. I want a good battle. Like, I want something out of it. I think we're spoiled from years past of Drake and Kendrick went at it. The two top names in rap actually went at it. You know, back in the day when people, Jay-Z and Nas, Biggie and Pac, Eminem and everyone, essentially, you know, when we actually had like even T.I. and Ludacris went back and forth with a couple of tracks. So like, at least they went at it. Like, it's no fun if just one person is going to release a song and nobody is going to how many people over the years have just like taken shots at Eminem of thinking like, oh, he's gonna respond to this, he's gonna, you know, if I say something, he'll say something back. And M is always like, yeah, you're kind of like a waste of time. And then maybe he gives you like a line. MGK was the one person. He's like, all right, fuck this dude. Because he kind of took shots at MGK first a little bit. It was maybe even, but he actually went like back at him. But these people who make songs going after him, it's like, it's kind of like a waste of time. Like maybe it's good, but you're gonna get a line at the like Joe Budden made a whole ass song, and M gave him like a line, and it's like, all right, Joe, you just kind of you wasted your time with this, that, and everyone knows 50 is just gonna meme him. I want music from 50. It's gonna suck, but
it's the fact that T.I. basically B-Rabbit Papa Docked him because he said that that's what he's gonna do. He was like, "You would have never used your dick suckers to say this to my face." he was like, and you more than willing to go after, your fellow African Americans, but you ain't never going after the fair skinned people. Like he cut deep on this. Like he cut deep on this to the point that 50 not responding, that's a big W in T.I. and T.I.'s got the spotlight on him where he could come out with a mixtape, and 50 was trying to use this to get some hype for his mixtape that he said he was working on and said he was going to release, but he ain't going to do that now. He can't do that now because he come out with a mixtape and it's no responses to T.I. Everybody going to call him out on that. So like you have basically turned 50's whole formula on its head because you called it out. You called out what he's doing and the fact that he's only targeting black people. He only is on Instagram and doesn't do it on wax. And when you do it on wax, 50 should know more than anyone. When you do it on wax, it hits a whole lot harder than anything you can do on social media. So I firmly disagree that it's a waste of time because it literally called out who 50 Cent is now and who he's been throughout his career whenever someone really throws a punch at him. And man, this one track felt like a first round knockout because I know that 50 ain't going to respond. And even if he did respond, it ain't going to hit as hard as this.
If you do it on wax, so you mentioned if you do it on wax, it hits harder than anything on social media. I think for, us back in the day, certainly. But now social media is such a big part of everything. And look, us, we're going to look at it. This is why, look, Kendrick out-rapped Drake. Let's be honest about everything. Yeah. The diss tracks were much better of this. But Drake just continues to just be on social media and continues to he's done less memes with everything, but he has such a fan base that still just appreciates that stuff. It's like, oh, well, Family Matters is still the best diss track and everything. And they still he still has the most followers. He still has all the stuff that Drake fans love to talk about because the music hasn't been good in years.
But Drake is so petty. Drake's going to have something on Kendrick for no reason on Iceman. I already know.
Yeah, if he ever drops that album. But my point being is I don't think 50 just cares about that audience at this point. He's like, the hip hop community is gonna feel how they feel about me. And look, get rich or die trying. You're not gonna take anything away from that. He's like, I'm just gonna keep doing my memes and keep being funny, and that fan base is still going to love me. They're not gonna care about any of this rap stuff because his rap reputation kind of is what it is. Easy Dame at this point, because over the years of the music he's put out or the music he's not put out with everything. So that's why, yes, for us, when you put out a diss track, it's good, and T.I. is gonna look like the big winner out of everything because he actually went to battle here, and 50 just stayed online and did nothing. But in 2026, staying online is almost a bigger win than actually putting out a record because just how everything has changed compared to when we were growing up. Yeah, when we were growing up, if you did a diss and you didn't respond, it took 3 years to respond anyway because things just didn't move as fast. But and you didn't respond, it's oh, you lost that, dude. No response, nah, your credibility is killed. Or your response was weak, nah, your credibility. This is how Ja Rule ended up just being done with. It's your response was weak as hell. It doesn't matter what you do. Interviews don't matter. Whatever you say otherwise, none of that shit matters because your response sucked and you got killed on track. So it's over. But now it's oh, he did a funny meme. Oh, he took a shot at Puffy. We still love 50. It's still great. Oh, he makes Power. He still does all this other great stuff. Get Rich or Die Trying, still a classic. Things have just changed so
Yeah.
much over the years. So I liked it. Again, I did enjoy it. I'm as an old head. It's fucking 37 old head. It sucks. We're
We
old.
are
It's
the
been
old heads
I
man now.
know.
We
It
are the old
sucks.
heads now.
as as an old head, like I appreciated it. I'm like, yeah, two guys who actually know maybe going at it, like guys I grew up listening to, but I just 50's not gonna give a response. And it's lame that he won't.
Hey, I'm just happy that Ti got his jab. He still got his jab though. He
Eh.
still got his jab in. He
Hey,
still
look,
got his jab. He might be old, but he still got a little power in his punch.
I hope Ti builds off of this. Like I truly do. Like I hope he does release like an album or an EP or something, and like he gets some steam off of this, and people realize that like, hey, let's go back and listen to old Ti, and it opens your eyes to that era of hip hop with everything. Like I hope the newer generation listens to this because they know 50 from the trolling and everything, and maybe they like 50 off of that, and they listen to this, and it's like, oh shit, Ti maybe did something here. Let me actually check out what Ti is all about. And then they realize like, oh, okay, Ti was good during his era, and he does make some new fans, and he capitalizes with a new record and everything, and it works out for him. Like if he gains one or two new fans out of this, then I'll consider this a full on win for him. And if he capitalizes this off of this with an album that does well, then it's I mean, I think it's a win already, but it's an even bigger win for
Yeah.
him. I I just wish 50 would respond. That's it. That's
I
all
know.
I
I
want.
get. I get that. I get that part of it. It just is the most relevant that Ti has been in like a decade, and just that whole verse where he goes over the fight history. That verse is for us old heads. It's for you
Yeah.
and me, right?
Yeah.
Because we remember all. It's like you were going through a Rolodex of our hip hop history, talking about the Fat Joe beef and the Rick Ross beef, and how him and Kanye made that bet and said, "Oh, whoever beats the other in first week sales, the other one's got to retire." And basically, I mean, I know 50 came out with another album after that, but I don't remember it. I think his last album was Curtis. Like that was the last time that 50 was really relevant. He lost that first week sales, and it was never the same for 50 in the rap world. I appreciate 50. Yeah, as a lot of y'all know, on True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment, I review all the Power shows. I love Power. I love that contribution that 50 has given to us as far as like the TV world and stuff like that. But as far as hip hop, 50 died a death in 2007 when he lost that first week
Yeah.
sales to Kanye. It was over.
Oh yeah, he was never the same after that. I remember as a kid, him and Kanye were on 106 and Park together.
I remember that too.
What, the week before the albums came out, maybe even like days before the albums came out, and they were talking shit and everything about who's gonna do. And I remember at like the end of the show, 50's like, bring Big Brother too, bring Big Brother as well, talking about Jay-Z, like he'll outsell Jay-Z and everything. I remember it was like a moment when those album sales came out and Kanye won. I was like, oh man, like everyone knew that this was a thing. And like we were just all anticipating what the album sales were gonna be. And yeah, when Kanye won, like I was stunned. I was like, there ain't no way 50 is losing this. Nah, not with the support behind him, not with what he'd already accomplished and everything. It's like, ain't no way he's losing this. And then when he lost, he was never the same after that. And then like he tried to release albums and music, and it's just like, it don't hit. It don't hit like it did.
Like you were supposed to retire, bro. You were supposed to retire. I remember that. I remember the bet. You were supposed to the Rolling Stone cover and everything. I remember that. You were supposed to retire, bro. It ain't the same. And that was the last time I remember, at least in my memory. There's probably some stuff over like the last 15, 20 years that like superseded that. But that was the last time that I remember two hip hop albums getting like nearly $2 million in sales together. Like that was the last time that I remember it going down like that. Maybe there was some other albums after that sold that many units in the first week, but music changed a few years after that, so it stopped being units anyway. So yeah.
Now it's all like streaming stuff. I don't even know how to judge like sales and everything. nowadays. I'm like, did the Clips album do well? Did the J. Cole album do well? Is the Baby Keem album doing well? I like them, so they're fine.
Yeah,
Fine
exactly.
by me. I don't even care what the sales are. Like, I guess people are streaming and everything, so I don't even know how to judge that stuff anymore. I hope 50 responds in some way. He won't. I mean, some way being music. I don't need memes and all of that stuff, but just do the verses. Honestly, just do the verses. Like, I'd be fine if he just did that, because I still think he's got the edge there.
I
It's
agree.
slight.
Like I said that the other day that I don't understand why he didn't want to do it, and I got more information like looking it up after I listened to the song, and it was they agreed to it. I think like when the lockdown was still going on, and then 50 backed out of it after the lockdown ended, and Ti was bringing up old stuff and stuff like that. I'm just like, it don't matter. You agreed. You agreed. You can't back out after you agreed to it, or you better come to a mutual understanding. You can't just be like, oh, I'm not doing that anymore in like a public interview and never get back to him and never talk to him about it. Yeah, he has every right to bring it up. It don't matter if it's years later. He has every right to bring it up, but you ain't have no right to bring Tiny into it. That's where everything went left.
Yeah. Anytime like you get personal with that stuff, like it never ends well for anyone, like, again, we lived through all of this stuff when Biggie and Pac got personal, when Jay-Z and Nas got personal, and when everybody tried to get personal with Eminem. It's like it doesn't go well for Drake and Kendrick got personal.
Yep.
With everything, but that's where everybody thinks they have to go, because it's like, okay, well, what else are we going to talk about as far as like just rap goes? Like, because it feels like you can only say so much bar for bar. It was like, all right, well, let's talk about your life now. And right or wrong, like a lot of these rappers rap about that stuff anyway. Kendrick very open on Mr. Morale of how going to therapy and how his relationship is and was and everything. So Drake sees that as like, oh, okay, well, now I'm going to rap about what I heard here. Of course, he misinterpreted everything because he's a dumbass, but he just thought this was the opening of, all right, I can rap about it. You rapped about it. Same thing. This is where everyone goes after M's family. It's like, oh, you rap about your mom and Kim and Haley, so I'm going to take shots at them because you talk about them. It's like, you got nothing better to say? Like, is that your whole thing? Because I think if like, again, Kendrick addresses his personal life, Eminem addresses his personal life. Like, if they're saying it clearly, like they're open about it and they know things are fucked up. So you saying it like doesn't actually have the power that you think it does. Is like, yeah, hey, your life is fucked up. Well, yeah, I've addressed that already. You're not saying any new information here.
About it. Yeah.
You're not putting any new information out there. And that's when, you got Drake tries to say something, and then it's like, hey, by the way, I know this is Pusha, but it's like, hey, by the way, you're hiding your child who you never talk about. You want to talk about the shit I've already addressed. Let me talk about the shit that you have not addressed. And it's like, well, that might have backfired.
All of that, yeah, Pusha, man. People now forget because of the whole Drake, how big Drake and Kendrick was, but Pusha felt like he was the first guy who really got a real legitimate dub on Drake.
Oh yeah, because it definitely wasn't Nicki Minaj's ex. I forgot his name.
Meek Mill's.
Meek Mill, yeah.
Meek Mill lost with back to back.
He lost.
That's one of the biggest like diss tracks to become like a hit song ever. So he definitely won that.
See,
maybe Joe Budden, or didn't he have a beef with Common?
Joe Budden and Common. Yeah. Oh, Drake. Yeah, Drake had beef with Common over Serena Williams. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Common probably out rapped them with everything. But the thing with Drake is, people think he won the Pusha battle, and this goes back to my point of like, all right, put it on wax, but it doesn't always matter because Drake is still like the bigger artist when it comes to this. And
Yeah.
again, he does the memes with everything. And so it's like, oh, Drake actually won. It's like, nah, man, once you get exposed for having a kid that you've been trying to hide, you 100% lost that shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Over. It was over. Yeah.
It's not only like it's not only that you got exposed in that way with everything. It's also you got out reffed when it comes to this. Like you also didn't win on wax plus that. But yeah, and people just don't care about that stuff anymore. People are just like, oh, how many followers you got, how many streams you got, and all this stuff. This is why, like, when I scroll my timeline and everything, I still see this goes for like any sport, certainly music and stuff. And you know how it is, especially like on NBA Twitter. And it's like, oh, this person might have lost, but like, look at these numbers that they put up.
Yeah.
Oh, this person, like the MVP debate right now seems very stupid to me. Of like, oh, how is Cade Cunningham not there? How is Jaylen Brown not there? And they're showing all these different numbers. Like, I don't know. I don't see how it is them.
They just
honestly.
Both of them seem like they're just fighting for third place.
Yeah.
Because it seems like SGA and Jokic are gonna get the votes unless Jokic, or SGA falls out of the games restriction. But really, kind of like the Drake way of thinking, like you're saying, and then 50 is the same way, where it's all about how much money and how many followers I have. That's the same thing in wrestling with the whole WWE versus AEW debate. It's not about quality to a lot of WWE fans, because WWE is the number one promotion, because WWE can get 50,000 fans into a stadium and make all this record gates and largest live attendance that we had in history, the largest gate that we had in history. They will always think that, oh, WWE is much better than AEW. Like I saw someone the other day say something ridiculous. I think it was Fightful's post when he got posted about the AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe matchup, and I put out a retweet saying that this is like the greatest match in TNA history. It is also probably the greatest match in all three guys' career, even though I think for AJ there's a lot of New Japan matches and the John Cena match at the Royal Rumble 2017 that's on that level, and for Joe it's the Kenta Kobashi matchup, but it's still the greatest three-way of all time. And then I saw somebody else in the quote tweets being like, oh, it's a shame that this match only happened in the TNA Asylum. Imagine how good it would have been if it was in front of more than 2,000 fans. And I'm like, what? This is such a flawed way to look at wrestling, because of how many people it's in front of. It dictates how good or how great it is. Like that type of thinking with anything, like, it's just so flawed to me. I don't know about anybody else, but it's flawed to me. It does not make the Unbreakable 2005 lesser because it was in front of 200 people. It made it awesome because the environment was just so great, and you were basically negating, and he said it was tainted because it was in front of that many people. You are tainting about 65% of wrestling, because like only 35% of wrestling in history was in front of like these large big crowds when wrestling was hot and in the boom period, or WWE had these great matches. Like, you are negating so much of wrestling in Japan, in Mexico, in America on the independent scene. You are basically saying that all of that is tainted because it's not in front of 50,000 fans in a stadium.
All of wrestling is tainted because it's not in front of 50,000 fans in a stadium. Have you seen the Elix Skipper cage walk?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay. I do this bit with Garrett, people who know Garrett Kidney, who runs TNA socials and everything, because all anyone talks about, and now it's relevant with AJ retiring and everything, so I can't say anything bad about it. But when TNA like moments are brought up, it's always that three-way and the Elix Skipper cage walk. Like, no one has any type of like frame of reference for TNA outside of those two moments.
Yeah,
it's like nothing.
You know about like early days TNA, those are the moments that define the first 5 years of the company.
Even in like the last 10 years, people are like, anyway, the Elix Skipper cage walk and stuff. Like, this is the only frame of reference people have for TNA. And Garrett's mentioned this before of like, anytime anyone talks about like TNA moments, like even if it's not relevant, the cage walk and the three-way are just there. It's like the greatest moments in TNA Impact history. The three-way and the cage walks, like, well, neither of those happened. It doesn't matter. No, they're there. No, they were highlighted on Impact one week, so they're there. And so anytime Garrett like tweets anything about like TNA moments and stuff, I just ask him like, "Have you seen the Elix Skipper cage walk?" And he's like, "I have actually." I was like, "Okay, just making sure." You're not a true TNA fan unless you can reference the Elix Skipper cage walk.
I was watching Turning Point 2004 live, ladies and gentlemen. That's how much of an old head I am. I remember Triple X versus America's Most Wanted, loser, never teams again. I remember the stip and everything.
Man, Triple X, Skipper, Daniels, Low Key, what a group.
What a group.
Yeah.
What a group. People forget about them when they talk about great all-time TNA tag teams or stables.
Yeah. Top tier stuff there. All right, I gotta ask about this because I do have a poll question up, by the way, everybody. You guys vote on it. I see people already debating it in the chat. Just vote on. I'm not gonna say it. Just check the poll question. I'll do the results at the end of the show. Okay. I have to ask about this, SP3. Did you see this report by ESPN about DeAndre Ayton and how he is mad that the Lakers want him to be Clint Capella and he's not Clint Capella?
No, I have not heard that report. What?
Okay. So it's a big feature on DeAndre Ayton on ESPN, and apparently he was like talking, and then like in the locker room he just screams out like, and people are around, like reporters are around, teammates are around. He's just like, they want me to be they want me to be Clint Capella, and I'm not Clint Capella. That's a very funny line from that whole thing. This is the funniest fucking thing I've read in years. Members of the training staff wrap Ayton's water bottle in athletic tape and write DA's crunk juice. Drink this to unleash the beast and black marker on it before games. Does he think this is like Michael's secret stuff?
Michael's secret stuff. Crunk juice. Oh, no wonder he's been drinking that all year. No wonder he's been playing the way he's been playing as of late.
Yeah, so I texted this to my buddy Saber, and he's just like, Space Jam ass bit here, and I was like, I haven't seen Space Jam 2. I'll never watch Space Jam 2. Fuck that movie.
I have seen Space Jam 2.
Okay, do they have like a water bottle bit like Michael's secret stuff? Do they have that?
I think they like try to do it, if I remember correctly, because I tried to forget this movie. I haven't watched it. Yeah, they kind of did something. They had a moment where they was like, "Oh my God, it's Michael Jordan." It was Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, okay.
Making an appearance. So yeah.
Okay, so my theory is that LeBron has the entire like team, coaching staff, personnel, everybody on the Lakers. He has them watch Space Jam 2 before the start of the season. Like every year, this is like his thing. He sits them down to watch Space Jam 2, and they knew they had to get more out of DeAndre Ayton. So the members of the staff, the water boy, I guess, was like, "Oh, this worked for the Looney Tunes in Space Jam. Let's write DA's crunk juice to get more out of DeAndre Ayton. We're gonna write DA's crunk juice, unleash the beast on all of his water bottles, and then he will start playing like Bugs Bunny, and LeBron will be the happiest that he's ever been." That's my theory on why they write DA's crunk juice on his water bottles.
You're just trying to make me more embarrassed than how I felt at the end of that Orlando game.
Oh, buddy. I wasn't going to bring that up. I just thought the DeAndre Ayton stuff was hilarious. It was too far out for Luka, the guy who regularly shoots logo shots.
Too far out. I was like, what? What are you talking about? And then LeBron throwing him under the bus.
Oh, LeBron was so fed up with him after this. I listened to that whole because the Lakers is one of the teams that I cover for the basketball stuff that I write for. I listened to his whole like post game interview. He gave 2-word answers to every other question. Every other question was like, nope, pretty good. Yup. That was his answer for every question. LeBron, what'd you see on that last play? Well, we executed really well, and Luka got the ball, and I guess he said he was off balance or he didn't see the shot, and then he passed me the ball. Yeah, he passed me the ball, and I was off balance when I got it, but there was no time left, so you'd have to ask Luka what he saw. But we executed it well. We did everything right. We executed the play how we were supposed to, but you'd have to ask Luka on it and see what he saw. But when I got it, I was off balance, and I just had to do what I could. Gave a full-on, detailed play-by-play of it, and then said, yeah, ask Luka what he saw. Every other answer, nope, don't know, yup, played well. That's it for every other answer. Oh, he was so fed up in that post game. Hilarious.
Nah, it was Luka. Luka messed up.
Yeah, he 100% messed up.
Yeah, he's usually a good decision maker in the clutch in those situations, but he just messed up. He was like, it's too far out. That was even worse than seeing what we saw on the court is saying it's too far out when you regularly shoot from exactly that spot. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to say. So.
And Ayton actually, like, he set a great screen on that play. He took out Black and Bencaro on that play to get Luka that free. And yeah, Luka hesitated, took a step forward. By the time he took a step forward, the two defenders are on him. And then people try to blame LeBron of like, oh, LeBron was calling for the ball. LeBron was calling for the ball once Luka picked it up and had two guys on him. Like, yeah, it was either you got to shoot over these two guys or pass it off to somebody else. But LeBron was not calling for the ball once Luka got the initial catch when he immediately should have shot it.
But I've said this for last couple of months. The Lakers are not good when all three guys are on the court. They were much better when it was just Luka and Reed. Then I looked up the point differential.
Yeah, it's not
good. We're nearly plus 20 when it's just Luka and Reeves on the court. When it's LeBron by himself, we are plus like 4. When it's Luka by himself, we're like plus 5. When it's Reeves by himself, we're like at a negative 0.5. When it's those two guys on the court, we are minus 15. Minus 15 point differential.
Yeah.
That's outrageous for three great offensive players. Just the defense doesn't work when those three guys are on the court, and the offense doesn't run well when those three guys are on the court. LeBron has tried his best to work off the ball, but all three guys are much better when they have the ball in their hand, and it just doesn't work. Reeves and Luka can work well with each other. Reeves can work off the ball when he's on the floor with Luka, but when it's all three guys, it just doesn't work. And I know the Lakers said they want to re-sign LeBron for his final year. Don't do that, please. Just re-sign Reeves, save some money, get some role players. Like we've seen from every other team in the NBA, having like 3-star players just doesn't work anymore.
It's not necessarily having 3-star players, because we talked about this before the season when you said that Austin Reeves was the best third option. And I think if you look at him in a vacuum as a solo player, I don't fully disagree with that. But this is why I said Chet is a better third option, because Chet is going to fit in to what OKC wants to do better than Austin Reeves. Like, Chet as a first option has not gone well. There's a lot of room to grow offensively for him. He doesn't handle the ball very well, can't create his own shot very well. Like, he needs someone to get him in the right position to catch the ball, whether it's on the 3-point line or underneath the basket or whatever it might be. But as a third option, with granted, we haven't seen it much this season, but as a third option where he does get those opportunities and he's a defensive menace, whether it's rim protecting, perimeter, like anything, just blowing up actions, like he's a great third option. Reeves, he needs the ball in his hand to be the third option, and it's tough to be a third option like that because there's only one basketball. And this has kind of been the Lakers' problem, basically since they won the championship, in how they've built this team is, okay, you had LeBron when they had Westbrook, when they had Davis. All right, well, LeBron's got to have the ball in his hands. Westbrook's got to have the ball in his hands. Davis isn't a guy who's going to pick and roll and everything. Like, Davis actually wants the ball in his hands as well, so we could like work in the mid range and just work from the post with everything. He's not gonna run a ton of pick and roll stuff. So even though he does seem like an ideal guy in that scenario, like, no, he's got to have the ball in his hands. Like, these guys who need the ball in their hands, you can't have three guys like that need high usage on that end, unless they will make it up on other ends. And LeBron at this age, Luka ever, Reeves ever aren't making it up on the other end.
Yeah. I can't even defend my Lakers today, but I do disagree with in the chat. So I think it was Mr. Town saying James Harden looking better than Luka right now. Luka still leads the league in scoring. He's still averaging nearly 34 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. I am sorry. Just because James Harden looks better on the Cleveland Cavaliers, as I predicted, none of y'all predicted. I said this. And since January 21st, the Cleveland Cavaliers have the best record in the NBA. I think they're like 12-3 since January 21st. And with James Harden, they've looked great. But no, I'm not going to take that type of Luka disrespect. I get enough Luka disrespect every time I see a clip of Kendrick Perkins trying to put Cade Cunningham above Luka Doncic as one of the best players in the league. I'm sorry. I have two eyes. And I can see who the best players in the league is. And Luka Doncic is much closer to number 3 than he is to out of the top 5, like freaking Kendrick Perkins thinks he is.
No offense to you, because you're not the only person who does this, but the Luka argument is always look at his points, rebounds, and assists. That's what everyone points at with Luka. He's
one of the best offensive players in the league.
No, he is. I'm not disagreeing with that. His underlying numbers, especially defensively, are not good. His shooting numbers, even this year, have taken a hit because he's taken like 10 threes per game and only shooting at like a 35% clip, which is not good for him.
It's better than how he started the year. He was shooting 30%.
Yeah, he was shooting terrible. Yeah,
he was shooting terrible. It's gotten better actually. But I'm sorry. Every time you would bring up Nikola Jokic, it would just be about his points, rebounds, and assists. So it goes the same way. It's Luka and Jokic are phenomenal, some of the greatest offensive players of all time. But no one is talking about them defensively. It's just that Jokic is a much more efficient player than Luka has been this year.
Yeah, it's not even defensively. It's, again, like the underlying metrics when it comes to those guys. And look, Jokic hasn't played. Jokic has kind of been that, just putting up offensive numbers since he's been back. And he hasn't, like, the underlying numbers haven't been good for him. And he hasn't influenced winning the way he has in the past. But, okay, WG Wheeler saying Cade and Luka average the same blocks and steals. Again, these are just counting numbers. Do you know how many times I watched Russell Westbrook just get steals on so many possessions because he gambled all the time? But like, if you gamble 10 times a game,
how Allen Iverson led the league in steals.
Yeah, if you gamble 10 times a game, yeah, you're probably going to come up with 2 or 3 steals. But that also means you didn't come up with 7 or 8 steals, and those are easy buckets for the other team. Like, I don't put too much stock into these steal numbers, these block numbers. Offensive numbers, yeah, rebounds, iffy, because sometimes it's the scheme when it comes to thing. I love Russ. I think he's the greatest rebounding guard of all time. He definitely went to battle on a lot of those rebounds. He definitely got up for a lot of those rebounds. I'm not going to pretend like off of missed free throws, everybody cleared out so Russ couldn't get an extra rebound, or the whole scheme wasn't designed for Steven Adams, block your guy out so Russ can come in and get a rebound. You see how these things work. Yes, he got a triple-double. Yeah, I take nothing away from how he got the majority of them, but there were certainly, like when he averaged 10 rebounds, 2 or 3 were free a game. He had to work for the other, 7 or 8. 2 or 3 were free a game.
No,
assists can be the same way, mind you. Assists can be the same way of Russ Not a great passer, not an all-around like great playmaker, but he drove the ball and he kicked it out or he dumped it off and he made the right reads on that kind of stuff.
And this is why I said the difference is with Luka. Luka is a phenomenal passer. He knows where
Yes.
everybody is on the court. He has great court vision. So I appreciate that from Luka. And even with Luka on defense, I think his defense has improved this year. But it's basically the Raquel Rodriguez improvement. You went from awful to bad. Like that is so that's why I looked at all of y'all funny when some of these awards came out and people were giving Raquel Rodriguez most improved wrestler. I'm like, she went from awful to bad. That is not what I would call most improved. Like Harley Cameron went from awful to she could be fine. She's entertaining.
Last night
she's passable in the ring. Yeah, the last night was all. She went right back to being bad on a certain spot that almost cost somebody a couple of months, but too much. She's Penelope Ford is too much of a gangster. I'm sorry. That I just saw the promo she did with the crunch. I was like, this woman is gangster. She is not missing any time. She's not missing anything. I love Penelope Ford. I'm such a big fan of Penelope Ford right now. But yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, like Luka is not that. It's not that improved. He went from awful, dreadful on defense to just bad. He's just bad and he's lazy at times. And we can see the athleticism of Luka has taken a hit this year.
Oh yeah, I mean he came in, the talk of Lakers was Luka's in the best shape of his career and he's gonna prove the Mavericks wrong and everything. And he kind of just looks like the same guy that he's been. It started off well, and look, I don't fully put this on Luka. I said this before the season. It's not a good roster. It's not a roster that is conducive to Luka's strengths.
I put most of this the deficiencies that we've shown this year to Rob Pelinka. He did not put Luka in the best position where I've seen all the arguments and videos talking about Rob Pelinka is wasting Luka Doncic's prime. I'm not gonna say like this 1 year where obviously even if he had the best offseason, it would have been tough to beat a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder or the San Antonio Spurs. So regardless of if we lose in the first round, the second round, or even the conference finals, we were not making it to the finals. So that's a dub for this year. So I will give him 1 more year, but if he's not able to make the adjustments and make the improvements to this roster that help Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves be in a position to win basketball games and make it further into the playoffs, Rob Pelinka need to get the hell up out of here because we got new owners now, and it doesn't take much for new owners to make changes to GMs.
Yeah, it was never a roster that was going to work with his strengths. And I know DeAndre Ayton got off to a good start, and some games he's going to look good, and then the majority of games he's going to look like DeAndre Ayton. And the quote about they're trying to make me Clint Capella, I'm not Clint Capella. I respect that he doesn't want to be Clint Capella. You need a Clint Capella guy next to Luka. You don't need a DeAndre Ayton guy next to Luka. I'm sorry. This is why it worked in Dallas. Because Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively were Clint Capella. They were going to screen hard, they were going to roll hard, and they were going to play defense and catch lobs. That's what Clint Capella did in Houston. That's why it worked in Houston. That's why it worked for Luka in Dallas. DeAndre Ayton wants elbow touches, and he wants to take mid-range shots. And credit to him, he'll set some good screens. He'll roll hard every now and again. And he will, he finishes pretty well around the rim, but it's not consistent enough. And the defense is what it is. And it's just not consistent enough. And it was never going to be consistent enough because we've had 6 years of evidence that it wasn't going to be consistent enough with DeAndre Ayton.
It is what it is. Jordan from Canada, we love you in the chat. but that is preposterous saying Luka go to the Knicks. The Knicks are fucking awful too. Knicks came into the season looking like the odds-on favorite for everybody. Oh, the Knicks are going to the finals. The Knicks is one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. My dude, they are 4-5 against the other top teams in the Eastern Conference. They ain't going to no NBA Finals this year with the way they've looked against the Pistons and the Cavs as of late. It's over. It's a wrap.
Yeah, they lost to the Cavs in a not that competitive
They got
game.
their ass beat. I saw so many of my Knick fan followers being like, "Oh, this is gonna be a good game for the Knicks. The Knicks gonna prove a point in this game." And then they had to put their. I saw, not to call him out, but I saw Kazim put a quote to me because he was like, "Oh, the Knicks Cavs gonna be a good bump," and then he put the quote to me after the game. It was not a good bump.
I was looking forward to it. I thought it was going to be a good game. I was like, all right, I'm kind of excited for this one. This is two. Cavs are playing well. Knicks are playing well. They're both healthy going into this game. I was like, all right, we got a good game here. And there was kind of levels to that one. And I'm not as high on the Cavs as you are, mainly because I don't trust James Harden in the playoffs.
Hey, he's the third option. We got to realize.
No, he's the second option. He's the second option. Come on.
Third option.
No.
The second option and more of the priority to the Cavs is the two bigs. It's the two bigs more than him. It's the two bigs. And that's why it's working for him. Is because he doesn't have all that pressure on him anymore.
He's still going to be the second option when it matters because Mobley can't create his own shot and Allen can't create his own shot. So the ball's still going to be in James Harden's hands.
He's going to be the facilitator.
He's
not
going
to be extra shoot.
This is why Jared Allen has done so well with James Harden because, like we just mentioned, Clint Capella, what were his best seasons? James Harden feeding him the ball on lobs and down low on setting a hard screen. Like, it's pretty easy to play with James Harden if you're a big. Set a hard screen, roll hard, he will get you the ball. Like, he's still a fantastic playmaker. He still reads the game excellently. So, yes, he can set them up, but you know how it is in the playoffs. Things get bogged down so much. Like, it comes down to your guards and can you get a shot when you need a shot? And Harden and Mitchell are the two guys that are going to have the ball in their hands, and that pick and roll action gets blown up way more often than not in tight playoff situations. So that's why I still look at Harden as the second option and not Allen and Mobley. But I see your point of like them combined is more of kind of the option and the priority. And I think for regular season, yeah, it's going to work. But for playoffs, you got to be able to create your own shot in the playoffs. And those two don't.
That's fair. I think James Harden's going to get them in the right position. I'm very confident in them to at least make it to the second round. I don't know about.
Oh yeah, second round, sure.
I don't know about.
I'm confident in them to make the second round.
Because the second round they're gonna have to either face the Pistons or the Celtics, and I don't know about that for y'all, bro. I don't know about that. I think that's a wrap for y'all.
People want to talk about the Hawks. I mean, Jonathan Kuminga looked good in his debut. I don't know what else you want me to say about the Hawks besides
perennial play-in team, the Hawks.
I'm sorry, Louis. I don't want to victory lap this too much because I felt like I victory lapped it 10 games into the season when the Bulls fans were trying to victory lap this. Mm-hmm. Somebody tell me how many wins the Bulls have in their last 10 games, please. Someone tell me how that Josh Giddey MVP candidacy is going right now, please. Somebody in the chat. I know you, Louis. You were a reasonable fan. You were actually you're reasonable with that stuff. But one of you Bulls people, I don't think there is anybody else. But somebody tell me how the Bulls have been doing after 10 games into the season. They wanted a victory lap. Oh, can't believe the Thunder traded an MVP candidate for a role player. Oh man, we completely fleeced them on this trade. You want 10 games in October, or you want 10 games in June, as the great two-time NBA champion Alex Caruso once said. Give me the guy who's going to show up in June, not the guy who's going to show up in October.
Hey,
Bulls
it happens.
fans. Bulls fans, get out of my mentions, Bulls fans. Get out of my timeline, Bulls fans.
King Potate, it's not copium that the Pistons are going to the finals this year. If you're a Knicks fan and you say the Knicks are still going to the NBA finals this year, that's full on copium at this point from
The
what we've seen
Pistons,
against
the
the other good teams in the East.
the Pistons are good. My concern with them is they don't have enough shooting. It feels a little Thunder-ish from 2 years ago, where OKC
Yeah,
didn't have enough shooting. Now the Pistons have the size, and I know Stewart's even out right now, but even like Paul Reed's been playing really
beef
well.
stew.
Yeah, and Jalen Duren's an all-star, so they do have the size, but they don't have the shooting, and Cade is good, but this is where again people just like want to look at counting numbers and not look at kind of what's beneath all of that and see that he's not an efficient scorer and see that like he can get buckets, but sometimes it comes at too much of a cost. I worry about their half court offense in the playoffs, and as we know in the playoffs you need more of a half court offense than you do in the regular season. You can run guys off the floor in the regular season with defense and fast breaks and everything. The playoffs is a little bit more difficult. I think this is why OKC, everyone thought they were just going to run through the playoffs last year, but they ended up going 7 with the Nuggets and they ended up going 7 with the Pacers. And it's because, their defense traveled and they did get a lot of fast break points and everything. But then when they got into a half court game, they struggled a little bit. They needed Shea to make a lot of shots. And Shea's one of the most efficient scorers of all time. They needed Dub to step up. Like they're gonna need Cade to make shots at a better clip, and they're gonna need a second guy to step up because I don't know who it's gonna be for them. Like Asor Thompson is good, very great defender, maybe the best perimeter defender in the league. Not a great offensive player. You're gonna rely on Tobias Harris to get you buckets in those situations. I don't know who is going to score. Like Ron Holland, these guys they've been good in the regular season for them. I don't know if they're going to get the buckets at the same level in the playoffs. So that's my concern about the Pistons. Is as good as they've looked so far, there's some underlying stuff that could show in a big way in the playoffs.
I can only see one team in the East. Well, no, I could see a world where the Cavs have enough firepower to beat them, but really it's the Celtics. The Celtics is the team that I can see beating the Pistons come the playoffs. As far as Motorcade, he's now a top 5 point guard to me. My top 5 point guards right now would be Shea, Luka, Steph, Motorcade, Brunson. I know there's been some debate, a real debate, not the stupid Kendrick Perkins, Cade's better than Luka debate that he's been trying to push. But there's been a debate who's better, Brunson or Cade. I think Cade has just taken a big leap, and he's better defensively than Brunson is. And I think on certain nights he could be just as good offensively, even though I think Brunson is by far a better shot maker than him. I think that he's comparable on offense and he blows him away on defense, that he's leaped over Brunson in top 5 point guard conversation.
Okay. I'm not mad at that overall list. Brunson and Cade is tough because I do think Cade's a good defender. I think his defense is helped by just how good the Detroit defense is compared to the Knicks defense. I mean, Cade's got Durant and Stewart behind him. Brunson's got Karl Anthony Towns behind him. And look, Brunson has athletic deficiencies on defense that Cade does not have. So, and that's going to count for a lot anyway, because I don't know if Brunson could even be a better defender than Cade is, simply because it's tough for smaller guards to be that level of defender. Steph had that issue, but much like Cade, and I think Cade's a better defender, like one-on-one, than Steph is for the same reasons. But Steph had just a fantastic defense around him. Brunson doesn't have that level of defense around him. And maybe if he did, we would look at his defense a little bit differently. Because, I mean, the Warriors were as good as they were on offense. Like, they were every bit as good on defense. And it's because, and it certainly wasn't, Steph Curry being the head of the defense. He was, if anything, like, no, this is the reason they're not good on defense. Like, okay, well, how are they still like a top 3 defense if this guy is so bad on defense? Well, it's because everyone else around them is so great. Brunson doesn't have that, but I think he could. Like, if I think he can be okay on defense if he has the right people around him.
I'm sorry. My whole opinion on the Knicks defense changed when I saw them live. Brunson don't even try sometimes. He just doesn't. And I've watched a couple of games, since to being there live. He just doesn't try on defense. A lot of his energy goes to just the offensive side of the ball, which he is a great offensive player. He's probably top 10 offensive player in the entire league, regardless of position. But defensively, he's a deficiency. I don't think it's all of, it's because of the people behind him. No, he's really that bad. I've seen it on Dallas. I've seen it on the Knicks. Like, it does not matter what team he's on. It does not matter who's around him. He's not a good defender.
No, he's not a good defender. Again, I think part of it's effort. Part of it's like he's just a smaller dude. He's not going to be. He's not going to be a good defender at that size. Does he need to give more effort? Yes. I won't disagree there, because a lot of defense does come down to effort. But even with effort, I don't think he would be a great defender. You got Towns behind you. Mikal Bridges has slipped defensively. I think OG Anunoby is fantastic defensively, and even he slipped a little bit. It's just not an overall good defense. Meanwhile, Cade, he's got a great defense around him. He's got Asor Thompson. Yeah, I think he's the best perimeter defender in the league. He's got Duren behind him. Like, he's got a good defense.
I think energy wise, he shows more effort. That's why I think that he's at least a good defender. And that's why being good in compared to being god awful, no energy, no type of effort, that's enough of a gap for me to say Cade is better than Brunson.
Okay. It shows
I can see Cade. I can see Cade winning MVP before I see Brunson ever winning an MVP.
I think Brunson can win an MVP first because he's in New York, and I think he's viewed differently than Cade. I think Cade is going to have a stronger season in terms of kind of like a Shea type season in like efficiency and leadership before he can win an MVP, because now I think Detroit is such a good team. And look, Jalen Duren made an all-star team, and that's going to, right or wrong, that's going to hurt Cade's look, and I know Towns is an all-star, but being in New York is just a different thing. The defense, like them not being a good defensive team, is actually going to help Brunson's MVP case, because it's going to be like, oh, look at all he has to do on offense and everything. It's almost like the Jokic argument of, oh, they're not a good defensive team. Look how much Jokic has to do on offense now. And Brunson's never going to hit those levels that Jokic does on offense. But my point being is the defense isn't good, and so his offensive numbers almost get inflated because the defense is so bad. Cade, it's going to be just tougher because he plays a really good game, but the efficiency is so weak that it's going to always be counted against him. Now, look, if his efficiency improves, then sure, I won't take anything away from him, and he could be the MVP. It's just going to be tougher for him to do that. And, like, I don't know if either of these guys are going to win MVP. As long as Jokic and Shea and Giannis and Wemby are in the league, like, Wemby's going to win the next 10 titles and MVPs. Let's be honest about things. Wemby's only not going to win an MVP. Yeah, Wemby's only not going to win an MVP because like they get bored like they did with Jordan and LeBron. It's like, yeah, we know he's the best player and we know he's the
Like,
most
we gotta
valuable
stop.
player,
We
but
just gave him 3 in a row. We gotta
yeah,
give it a break.
we got to give it to somebody else right here. Like that's the only reason they're not going to win, or he's not going to win the next 10, because otherwise
Pretty,
he's got this league on lockdown right now.
pretty sure. Well, we got to get to AEW, but we have some AEW
Wrestling.
related news. Or yeah, AEW wrestling. We got to get to AEW, but we have AEW related news because AJ Styles squashed the AEW rumors on Talking Shop, which we pretty much squashed the AEW rumors because we were, when we heard about the tribute last week, we were saying, oh well, it's a wrap for that for that idea.
I mean, I've been trying to squash these rumors for since the retirement because I've been saying what AJ's been saying for years. Years now. Going back to the pandemic when he was giving out spoilers on Twitch, he was like, yeah, I'm probably just going to stay in WWE forever and I want to be a scout and I want to, help with young talent and everything. That's what I see myself doing. For the rest of my career once I retire. This is what he said 6 years ago. And when before Royal Rumble and after Royal Rumble, and when people are like, "Oh, he might do one more match, he might go to AEW," I'm like, I don't know, man. It just feels like it feels like he's actually done, and he said it himself. He wants to just be a scout and help in that way when he's done. It doesn't seem like he would wrap up his career here just to show up to AEW 4 months later. But anyway, I'm gonna do a match here now, and I'm gonna do a handful of matches here. Look, it would have been great for as a wrestling fan, as someone who loves chaos, as an AJ Styles fan, to get him to see in this environment in these matches. But yeah, this would be fantastic. But I just never saw it coming. And yes, last night on Talking Shop, by the way, scheduled to have Luke Gallows on the show tomorrow. Last night, AJ mentioned, like, oh, they only put me in the Hall of Fame to keep me from AEW. And he's like, guys, I'm retired. It's my choice. It's my decision. I'm not wrestling again. All right. He should have teased it. He should have just like kept it going. But I actually don't think, one, he wanted to like do that to fans. And two, I don't think like he wanted to, and I'm not saying he's doing this maliciously or anything. I don't think he wanted to like give AEW that kind of talk and hype and then it not be delivered on.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he wanted to like put AEW in that position of, oh, I'm gonna tease going there and then not deliver, and then AEW looks bad because they couldn't deliver on this, even though it was never going to happen from my end. And I look bad because I teased it and didn't deliver on it because it was never going to happen on my end. I don't think he wanted to do that either.
Yeah, I mean, it became crystal clear. Like even when we do content, we do podcasts, it was fun to talk about it for sure. Like when the whole matchup got set up for the retirement match at the Royal Rumble, it was a bunch of fun to talk about it. But the more I talked about it, and I think I did this on every podcast, even on this one, where I was every time we talked about it, I was like, at the end of it, after talking about all the different matches, I would say, oh, guys, it's too good to be true. Like talking about it, saying all these matches and thinking about all the possibilities is way too good to be true. The wrestling gods is not blessing us all that much to have AJ Styles go to AEW. It just doesn't seem fathomable. So I put at best I'll go 25%. I think most of the time I was at 10% he would go there. It never surpassed any of that because we all know what AJ has said for years. He even went back to the tweet in 2024 when he said that he won't be going into any Hall of Fame until his in-ring career is over. So the solidifying thing was really him being inducted and the announced for the Hall of Fame during the tribute. But then for him to also kind of state it and state what all the fans are saying, this was just extra stamp on things to be like, nope, the book is closed. And I really feel like the tribute was a proper way. That felt like an ending. That felt more like an ending. I think a lot of the conversation continued even after Royal Rumble in the retirement match with Gunther is because of him keeping on the gloves, the way it was with being the Royal Rumble being in Saudi Arabia, and none of the locker room coming out to kind of like greet him and everything at the end. It didn't really feel like an ending, a closing chapter, whereas the tribute really did. It really felt like a final goodbye that he could have, and we'll get further goodbye at the Hall of Fame. But I think that it is nice of him. I think it was a kind of a tipping of the cap to the fans, because he's heard all the chatter. He even had, Carl Anderson, who admitted that he thought that after the WWE run, he would go to like TNA or AEW to at least have a match or two and see how it is over in those companies. So even if you're hearing it from not only your friends, but you're also your peers as well are thinking the same thing, you have to kind of address it in the way that he did. So I like the way that he did it. And, I had to wake up and I saw Romeo in our True Hill Heat chat. He's like, yeah, AJ said he doesn't want to go to AEW. He's going to WWE. And I just had to be like, that is not exactly what he said. He did it. He squashed the AEW rumor. If Romeo had said that in our True Hill Heat chat, I would have not responded or anything. I just would have shared the post. But I shared the clip of him, what he actually said. He said, oh, I know a lot of fans are saying, oh, WWE put him in the Hall of Fame, so you go to AEW. And he just said, no, guys, I'm retired. He didn't say anything about not wanting to go to AEW like Romeo said. He just said, I'm retired, guys. I want to stay in WWE and help out behind the scenes. So I like the fact that he addressed it in this way where he wasn't bad mouthing or putting down AEW or saying, oh, I don't want to go to AEW and stuff like that. It's more of, this is what I said. This is what I'm holding on to, the word that I gave myself a couple of years back, and I'm sticking to it. I said 2026 was going to be the end, and this is my end. I had my final matchup. No matter how much, and it really feels, I put it on Twitter, I'll say it here, it really feels like a Michael Jordan 1998 retirement where AJ was at the top of his game. You couldn't name, I don't even think you can name 5 guys in WWE that's as good as AJ Styles right now, post-retirement. AJ Styles and the quality of matches that he's given us in the last 6 months, from the John Cena match at Crown Jewel, all the tag team matches with Dragon Lee, the 2 Gunther matches at the start of the year, and the Shinsuke Nakamura match at Saturday Night's Main Event. There aren't 5 guys in WWE today that is as good as AJ Styles in the ring. So he's leaving at top form, still one of the best in the world, and he gets to go out on his terms and not like a lot of the other legends that he will be, that also have been inducted into the Hall of Fame, like your Triple H's, like your Shawn Michaels, like your Undertakers, who did one more match or kept doing matches until it was too much and they were way past their prime. He was still at the latter half of his prime, and he got to go out on his terms. That is beautiful, and I appreciate him for sticking to his word and being adamant that he is retired. So I respect his decision.
So we'll see him at All In against Will Ospreay.
See you live, buddy.
AEW Dynamite last night. The big thing coming out of this, there's a few things, but our thumbnail, anyway. We have the stipulation for MJF and Hangman Page. And it wasn't a negotiation. It was Kevin Knight revealing that it was going to be
Kevin Knight owns. He's such a, oh man, Kevin Knight, you own for that. I was like, wait, did Kevin Knight just spoil this?
Yeah, when he said, like, I don't care who the champion is, I don't care what the match is, if it's a Texas death match, if it's a one-way DQ match, and I'm like, did he just give the stipulation, or he's just like throwing out random stuff? Like, what are we doing here? Nope. And then when MJF said it's a one-way DQ match, I'm like, oh no, Kevin Knight just flat out said it. See, he gave it beforehand. Who clued in Kevin Knight? That's what I want to know. Like, who's back?
he put out on Twitter that this idiot was bragging on his phone all day.
Okay.
Loser. I was like,
All
I
right.
love how you cleaned that up. I love how
Yeah.
you cleaned that up, buddy.
All right, I respect that Kevin Knight cleaned that up. I was like, who's over here? Kevin Knight in on the production meeting of what's going on. But yes, MJF was did suggest a one-way DQ match, which I appreciated, by the way, because how many times have I said, like, if a heel gets to pick the stipulation, why aren't they picking, like, you got to pin me for 50, I got to pin you for 1? Like, come on now, like, pick something good for yourself as a heel. So a one-way DQ, I was like, this is good. I respect this. They left it down to a coin flip, and MJF had a double-sided coin, allegedly.
I knew as soon as he pitched the coin flip,
Yeah.
and he said, "Oh, if it's tails, we'll do Texas Death, but if it's heads, we'll do my match." I was like, "This dude has a two-headed coin."
That
so
look, that's good heel shit to me.
Yes.
Is you do a two-headed coin and you walk away of like, oh, this is the match. I'm out of here. Not showing you the coin. He should have tossed the coin into the crowd. I mean, come on now. Then there's no evidence against you. I mean, the crowd might have tossed it back, but could have. But
I like how they did the coin where you saw Shivani try to pick it up, and then MJF quickly was like, "Nope, I got it. Thank you. Okay, take back my coin." But I also love dumb baby faces. Like a lot of what Bandito does in his matches is just him being a dumb baby face, like doing the Macarena, doing his pose and stuff like that. But the only thing I love most than a dumb goofy baby face like a Bandito is a smart baby face, and that's what Hangman was last night, where he was just like, "Wait, hold on a second, let me see this coin."
Yes, call him out on it. And then not only that, but he had Jet Speed and Brody and Bandito waiting at the tunnels to cut him off so he could not leave on top of that. And then I did love when they're like, all right, does anybody have a real quarter that we can flip? And then instead Tony Schiavone gets the message from Tony Khan of like, oh, it's going to be a Texas death match because you tried to cheat your way into a one-way DQ match. And I'm like, they weren't leaving that up. A real coin would have gone into business for itself, and it might have still landed on heads.
But it wasn't Hangman who suggested another coin. It was Max. Max was just like, "Oh, let's just do another coin. We'll just do another coin. We'll just do another coin." So I like the way that this worked out with MJF getting the comeuppance. I know there's people in the chat as well as all online that thought it was awkward and stuff like that. I didn't really feel like that. I thought
this segment
entertaining.
Yeah, this segment I didn't think was awkward. This segment I thought works. And last week I was like, what's the deal here? Like they tried their best with this. I still think like, oh, I'll pick my stipulation and you pick yours, but I'll still put my this is where Hangman, I'm like, why am I still going to put my future title shot on the line in a match that I'm not getting? That was where the sort of disconnect for me was, because the whole point of putting your future title shot on the line was you get the match that you want. There's the give and take. Here, it's like, if MJF gets his stipulation, then why should I'm a double loser in this case. Like, not only do I not get my stipulation, but if I lose, I can't challenge for the title. Then Hangman looks stupid. That's where the disconnect was for me. But as far as like this segment went, I love a good like heel try some bullshit with cheating with this coin. He gets called out on it. A good smart baby face, and the heel has to show ass at the end of it with how it all works out, and the baby face gets what he wanted. So no, I thought this segment was great. The lead up to it could have done.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I liked last week's segment as well, but it is true what other Mike is saying. Like last week needed like 4 tweets to clarify. This was right straight down the middle. I don't understand why people saying it was awkward after the coin flip. It made sense for Jet Speed because they're Hangman's partner to stop MJF from heading up the ramp. It made sense for Brodito to come out because they were the two guys that MJF has defeated since his title reign started. MJF was the one who wanted a new coin to flip because he knew he got caught, and he knew he got caught with his pants held down, and Hangman was kind of checking. They couldn't zoom in on the camera. I guess that's the only thing you could say is awkward in presentation, not that it didn't make sense. Awkward means that awkward in wrestling usually means that it doesn't make sense. I think the execution was totally fine to me, honestly. I don't know, to each his own.
I think they could have used the real coin, by the way, because on that camera zoom in, we still couldn't tell that it was heads. We still had to just go off what Shivani said. So they could have used the real coin and then not even zoomed in, and Shivani, whether it was heads or tails, Shivani could just be like, "It's tails, everybody," and then pick it up and show it, and like, did he flip it? Whatever. Hangman got his wish. We're fine.
Yeah, he got it. He got it at the end of the day. And I love Max's reaction. Max reacting like, "Oh fuck." And in the way he reacted to Hangman's promo as well, I think that was really well done, with him being like, Hangman talking about, what if I get a shard of barbed wire? What if I use the thumbtacks and I rip your skin apart? And just, you could see MJF kind of thinking in his head like, oh god, I don't want this to happen. Thank God I got this freaking double-headed coin. So we'll flip it. Yeah, you'll flip it. Agree. So yeah, I love when a heel gets caught in their own dumb scheme and played themselves. And MJF played himself perfectly here. I thought this was entertaining. It worked. The crowd ate it up. And I really feel I am like the biggest fan of the stipulation. I know a lot of people don't like the stipulation, but this stipulation has added so much juice to a rivalry that didn't have any coming out of Grand Slam Australia.
The stipulation has definitely made this match more unpredictable, because I would have thought that MJF was just going to win, because why is he going to lose the title this early? Go back to Hangman, okay, but Hangman, it's not like Hangman's reign lit the world on fire, and part of that was booking. I just didn't think that this was going to be the time to end it. Now it's like, ooh, are they going to book themselves into this again? When they did it with Cody, and we saw how it worked out with Cody, and we've heard Cody's criticisms and comments of doing this in the past. Now they're going to do this with the guy they call the main character, the guy who's been the biggest babyface in the company historically. Are they really going to do this again? So I do think that it has helped in that regard. It's just risky to do this. And look, I don't mind them like trying to take this risk, but it's very risky if Hangman does lose. Now, if Hangman wins, then obviously the stipulation falls through. He's the champion. It doesn't matter. But if Hangman loses, then you've got to, like, how are you going to book around things after that? And that's really the risk here. And that's I guess if you're an AEW fan or a Hangman Page fan, that's the fear going into this match, and the potential fear coming out of this match if he does lose. Now, again, if he wins, then all the fear, it's worth it, because that's a big selling point of this. Is like, oh shit, my favorite wrestler might lose, and then he can't challenge for the title. What's he going to do moving forward? Oh, he won. Oh, great. Things are great. Everything's great. But if he loses, it's like, oh, what are we doing now?
Yeah, I think that it all depends on the follow-up, really, with the stipulation. But the stipulation is working and getting more interest into the story. And I saw Power Driver Finisher said awkward like Liv punching Vicaire. That one was not awkward. It was flat and it didn't make any sense. That's why I said usually awkward in wrestling means that it doesn't make sense. You did correct yourself later, Power Driver Finisher, so I'll give you credit for effort. You said it came off weird to you. That's fair. That's a fair criticism, because like Jeremy said, they could have done it in a little bit of a different way with the coin and stuff to establish that it was two-headed. So I can understand that criticism. Awkward, though, I think is the wrong word. That's all I was saying.
C. Delgado saying, not a stip though. Hangman has promised he won't challenge ever again. MJF clarified on Twitter it's not in contract, just his word, leaves options. Where's the clarification? Yeah. I would like to see that. I've not seen it, so I would like to see that too.
I think Max did tweet that out on Saturday. gatekeeping the English language. I read dictionaries growing up. I'm sorry. I know the definition of stuff.
Okay, so yes, MJF's tweet on Saturday was, we both pitch a stipulation. We both have to agree to a stipulation. Hangman's given his word. If we do, he will never challenge for the world title again. On Wednesday, we decide. This was after last week's segment.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what that... If I'm MJF, you got to get this in the contract. Like, why am I going to take this man at his word? Like, it seems stupid not to have it in any type of contract.
The whole thing that people were pushing back against this was, oh, Hangman has always been about his word. You can't turn him heel and have him not go against his word and everything. So yeah, I think that's the right way to do it. Like basically, MJF is daring him to go back on his word by not making it legally blinding, by just making it about his word. MJF has said that it's Hangman's word that he will put it up. And even in this promo last night, Hangman said, I've given my word that I will never challenge for the AEW World Championship, because if I can't beat you, especially in my kind of matchup in a Texas Death Match at Revolution, I don't deserve to ever be AEW World Champion again. So I thought that last night's promo reaffirmed what MJF said in the tweet. And like I said, I thought this segment, verbiage wise, like promo wise, made more sense than last week's segment, even though I enjoyed both segments individually.
Okay. But again, if I'm MJF, why am I signing this contract if that stipulation's not in there?
Because you basically want Hangman to go back on his word, because then you would be right. The whole feud started because MJF's like, why have y'all forgiven him for everything that he did, and y'all are bluing me? He's the one. Let me prove my point. That was the whole build to the Revolution thing. So making it about his word instead of legally binding, you are basically calling Hangman's bluff. Hangman has always been the guy that's been about his word. So if he's willing to go back on his word because he wants to be AEW World Champion so bad, not only did you win the match, you win the overall feud, and you've proven your point that you tried to prove last year. I think that it makes total sense that he's not putting it into the stipulation. He just wants to really prove his point that Hangman is no better than him.
I think this that makes sense. I don't disagree with you. What you're saying makes sense. I also think it makes MJF look stupid to not put it in the contract, because MJF is smarter than that.
I disagree with that.
But he's still got to do a Texas Death Match. He's going to agree to still do, I'll put the Texas Death Match in the contract, but I'll take your word for the MJF would be like, no, I'm not doing your stupid ass Texas Death Match if you're part of this stipulation is not here. I agreed to this whole stipulation nonsense because he wanted just a regular singles match. He didn't want to do a Texas Death Match. He said it's going to be just a regular wrestling match. So why is he going to contractually agree to a Texas Death Match, but then just take Hangman at his word? I get your point. I do. I also don't think MJF is that stupid.
I don't think it's stupid at all. I think MJF is a very cocky individual, as well as he can sometimes be a dumb heel, like last night, case in point. So I don't think that it makes him dumb though with this. I think that this is more of his pride. He's a very prideful person, and I don't think it makes him dumb at all. I disagree.
Okay.
2 weeks in a row we disagree on the main segment.
Yeah.
I love it. I usually only disagree with one guy on Thursday. I like the fact that it's two people I disagree with.
Jimmy just hates everything, though.
Jimmy like 80% of last week's show. He still gave it a 7 out of 10. I was like, what are you talking about? I gave it an 8.5. He's like looking at me like, ew.
Jimmy just disagrees with everything, though. If you liked 80%, then he should have given an 8 out of 10 at the very least.
Exactly.
Well, we'll see when they sign the contract. We will see. Maybe MJF will address this, and maybe he'll use the reasoning that you use. I think it's good reasoning of why he would say this. I also think he would look stupid for agreeing to a Texas death match and getting that in the contract and just being like, okay, but I got to trust that you were going to. I wouldn't do the Texas death match. You didn't want to do the Texas death match. Just make it a singles match in that case. You should argue back. Fight back, MJF.
He should have never put down the terms that it was going to be about a coin flip with a coin that was rigged.
I mean, I think he got almost forced into those terms because the last week's segment was, I agree to your stipulation, but wait, I haven't given my stipulation, and now we got to both pick a stipulation. So how do we get out of this? How do we decide whose stipulation wins? Okay, coin flip. That's how we're gonna do it. So
no, King Potato. Watch go to Patreon, become a Patreon backer for just one episode of Goat Match Series, because the latest Goat Match Series, I asked Jimmy. King Potato says Jimmy barely likes doing AE Ramble. You think he'll do another show? Laughing emoji. No, Jimmy actually enjoys doing AE Ramble. He hates watching AEW Dynamite. I said, what do you like in order? I was like, out of all the shows we do, Goat Match Series, where we watch greatest matches of all time, doing AE Ramble or watching AEW Dynamite, he said doing AEW Dynamite, Goat Match Series, watching AEW Dynamite to review it. He likes reviewing it. He hates watching it. That's the weird mindset of Jimmy Macaran.
Because he hates watching it so he can enjoy bearing it, and that's why he likes doing the show. That's all it is. He hate watches it, and then he's like, hell yeah, I hate this show. Now I get to bury it for an hour and a half to 2 hours.
He's like, I'm going to properly grift instead of these grifters who don't watch it and hate it. I'm watching it to hate it.
Exactly. The main event was the Mile High Mayhem match between
Mile High Madness.
All right, Mile High Madness.
They love their alliterations.
They do. Well, I alliterated with Mayhem over Madness, so they should have alliterated like me. Why not a Mile High Mayhem of Madness match? I'll just throw in more in there. FTR, Ricochet, and Gates of Agony against the Bucks, Jack Perry, and the Rascals. Myron Reed was not part of the match, but he did get involved for those worried about Myron Reed. I know SP3 will go through.
Stokely.
Stokely as well. I know SP3 will go through some of the bigger spots, but the only thing that matters, SP3. Yeah, we were jacking off all match because we had Tarzan Boy playing throughout in the Anarchy in the Arena style setup, and then who got the victory for the third time over Ricochet? Oh, Jungle Jack-Off Perry out here. And we ended AEW Dynamite on a high with everyone exploding and coming after jacking off.
Jesus. What a quote. This was absolutely batshit insane, and I loved every minute of it. It was basically, I said it on Twitter earlier today. I was like, you had Stadium Stampede, Anarchy in the Arena, Mile High Madness. It is the second best spinoff in AEW history. The best spinoff is Anarchy in the Arena. This was just as fun. It was so entertaining. Just the absolute chaos of everything. Just going absolutely batshit the whole time. You had Stokely getting involved in the stands, acting as a battering ram for FTR. You had FTR bumping like crazy. You had garbage cans. The vacuum spot was awesome. Myron Reed getting involved and showing how athletic he could be. That running up the ramp and then into the cutter was ridiculous. I was like, This man is awesome. I need more Myron Reed on AEW television. This was a great showcase for what the Rascals can be, and they can stand toe to toe and be on par as far as like the high risk kind of shenanigans that make the Young Bucks one of the greatest tag teams of all time, whether it be 2-on-2, 3-on-3, an 8-man tag, a 10-man tag. Like in this case, the Bucks are just always great in this type of environment, especially when it's like no rules and they can just go crazy with the different spots that they do. They were great in this element. Jack Perry and Ricochet were awesome. Their interactions were great, and they were bumping like crazy. Jack Perry going through the table and then doing the sunset flip power bomb on Toy Leona with the Bucks help into the final table there. FTR Cash Wheeler had a death sentence in this matchup with that dive being thrown outside and diving into the table. That had to suck. Ricochet taking a double Spanish fly through the table. That was insane. And then the ending with everything, the 5-way super kick to Toa. You had the BTE trigger, and then the Canadian Destroyer, flame. And then the Hot Fire Flame, yep, and then the assisted knee strike to pick up the win. This was great. It basically was 3 straight weeks of AEW best TV matches of the year. Like that's 3 weeks straight that they've done it, with Ciampa and Fletcher 2 weeks ago, last week with the legitimate best AEW matchup of the year with Swerve and Omega. But man, this was near that level or close to it with Mile High Madness. This lived up to kind of the benchmark that is Anarchy in the Arena and the consistent hit rate that Anarchy in the Arena has. This was it as like a mini version on TV. They really delivered, and all 10 guys went out there, all 11 guys with Myron Reed as well, or 12 guys if you want to count Stokely's efforts. This was awesome in every shape or form. Awesome stuff by everybody. Yeah, Dez with that Spanish fly off the top rope to the floor, just a risk taken, the music being played, the environment of the crowd. The crowd was probably the loudest for this segment than anything else on the show. This delivered big time on a card that I didn't have the biggest expectations for, because when I saw the card for the show, I was like, they added that late too, so yeah. I didn't know if that was gonna. I was like, yeah, we're missing that one matchup that's gonna deliver. I think everything else on the show was good to even, I would say, close to great, but this was legitimate. The certified banger of the show was Maha Madness.
Here's my nitpick and criticism of this match, because I gotta have one. Why didn't they count the pinfall and the hot fire flame? Did you notice that? They hit the hot fire flame and they did the pin, and the referee just stood there and was like...
Referee was like, that's not the finish.
Yeah, like, we got more spots to do, buddy. Why are you pinning him here? That's my criticism. Yeah, I was like, why aren't you counting this? What are we doing? Otherwise, fantastic match. I gotta have just one weird nitpick of every match. Come on now. No, yeah, the ref was confused. The ref was like, no.
I know for sure we got more spots to do, guys.
Yeah, we got a BTE trigger. We got an assisted knee and everything. Like, we ain't done here, okay?
Keep going. Yeah. He basically said, keep going, guys. That's not gonna be it. Keep going.
I do love the hot fire flame. I know they've done it forever, but it's so good. Like, it's such a sweet looking move.
It's like, why didn't everybody think of that? Pushing the person in midair on a splash or 450 or standing shooting star like that. That just looks awesome. It's so different from any other like double team move that's out there.
Yeah, it's very fun. All right, so I assume we're getting Jack and Ricochet at Revolution to blow this off. It's got to be some type of gimmick match, right?
I would think so. Something that at least like ban the demand from ringside, because they have interfered in the first 2 matches between those guys. So make sure that it's 1-on-1. But even though there's a lot of rematches on Revolution, I think this card is going to be tremendous. It sounds already on paper like it's going to be great between, I think the Bucks and FTR got a lot of juice to it with the angle that they did on Collision, and then following up with this great matchup here. Then you got Takeshita and Moxley, no time limit. You got the Texas Death Match with Hangman and MJF, and then the new matches that they made. I got excited for on this show. I thought that was kind of like the third biggest thing on the show was the whole setup for Swerve and Brody King.
Yeah, Brody King defeated Mark Davis in a really hard-hitting, fun match. We were texting our group chat of what the thumbnail should be, and we thought that the MJF Hangman was the biggest talking point, and you mentioned Brody and Swerve. And I was like, Brody wasn't dangerous enough for me overall. You're like, well, he beat the shit out of Mark Davis. I was like, yeah, John Moxley made Mark Davis' hand bleed. You're like, well, I asked, I was like, did his hand bleed? And you're like, well, it was bandaged up. And I didn't reply because I was probably sleeping by this point. But I was like, well, why was it bandaged up? Because someone more dangerous than him made it bleed. Brody wasn't dangerous enough for me. This is why, look, I respected Swerve, and we'll talk a little bit about Brody and Mark Davis, but Swerve was not advertised for this show. They had no graphic. We'll hear from Swerve Strickland, and I know people were wondering of like, oh, like how are they not going to follow up on the Swerve and Omega angle? And I thought that myself. I was like, they have to. Like they can't be this dumb to not do anything. Yeah. Off of Swerve and Omega.
But they literally had just done that like 2 weeks ago with the Brody King stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I was like, they can't be this dumb, but we've seen them. So hopefully they are not this dumb. But that's why I love the way they actually did it with Nana coming out and then Swerve coming out. I was like, oh, this is how you should do it for a most dangerous man. Like, don't announce him ahead of time. None of that feels dangerous. That was my whole issue, at least one of them, with the Death Rider stuff. Is like, John Moxley's going to take over TBS. Like, your takeover sucks if you're trying to promote it, okay?
If you're promoting, you're taking over.
Yeah.
Sieging TBS or whatever.
It was seizing. Yeah, seizes control of TBS. I was like, no, this sucks. If you have to promote that he's going to seize control, like, well, why does anybody stop him? You know he's about to do this. This is dumb.
Ahead of time.
Yeah, but this is what I appreciated about the Nana and Swerve segment is it wasn't advertised. So you had the thought of like, oh, is Swerve going to be on the show at all? It's like, well, he should after last week. That was the big talking point. That was the big closing angle. So he should be on the show, but we don't know. Oh, look, here's Nana coming through the crowd. Here's Swerve coming through the crowd. And now he feels dangerous. You know, he got fined. He was told to take Collision off and everything. Like, he actually feels like a dangerous person. So I did like that segment overall. And then, you know, the way he's talking again, most dangerous. And he told, I don't know what the fan yelled at him, but
he said, you're a piece of shit.
Oh, is that what the fan yelled? And he's like, your mama? Okay. Yeah, I couldn't hear the fan. My wife was very confused. She's like, did they hurt Swerve's mom? Like, did I miss something? I was like, no, a fan yelled something at him, and he was just yelling back at Yo Mama because he was addressing, you know, like Hangman and Omega and what they did to him and everything. And then he's just like randomly threw in there like Yo Mama, and yeah, she was like, did they hurt his mom? I'm like, no, I don't think so. Unless we missed that one, you know. Then otherwise, yeah, he deserved to beat the shit out of Hangman and Swerve, or Hangman and Omega if they went after his mom. That's why the Young Bucks should beat the shit out of FTR. They went after the family. So I liked
I like the promo.
Yeah, me too.
And I like how it is started as well. Someone mentioned in the chat that Prince Nana is basically interrupting the video package of what he did last week. He's like, no. This is not. You think $100,000 fine is enough for Swerve? And let me introduce the most dangerous man. I like that, and I liked him addressing the crowd, and he knew that it's gonna take a while for the crowd to like 100% treat him as a heel. He still got some cheers. But anytime he mentioned what he did to Kenny Omega, that did get him some heat. And that's why he mentioned, he was like, oh, y'all like what I do unless I do it to one of your favorites. And he was like, but what I've been is the person who's always taken out the elite the last couple of years. And then I loved him reflecting on what his like real, one of the biggest moments of 2025 for him wasn't one of his matches, wasn't one of his moments, is what he contributed to Hangman at All in Texas, and went back to that great sit down promo segment that they did on the Collision before All in Texas, when he said that, yeah, he regretted what he did. And that was the whole couple of months. It was all of that with the whole face to face that they had before Dynasty, when he was like, you ruined my life. And he was like, yeah, I know I did, and all of that stuff. And him saying that he regretted what he did, and then Swerve reflecting on that and saying that, well, actually, that was the most successful time of my career. So he was like, I'm living with no more regrets. I have no regrets for what I did last week. No more regrets for anything that I've done in the past, because I need to get back to the AEW World Championship, which could tease, you know, a retelling of the story between Hangman and Swerve, because I think that's been one of the major complaints about babyface Swerve over the last couple of months, is him teaming with his arch nemesis. And now he's kind of squashed that, got that out of the way, built up his Kenny feud. And I love how the Kenny promo segment from a few weeks ago informed what he was doing at Revolution. Kenny saying that the real most dangerous man in the world in AEW is Brody King. It basically influenced Swerve, basically what he did last week, as well as Swerve now saying that that was one of the things of why he needed to do what he did last week, was not only the fact that Kenny stood in his way to the AEW World Championship, but because Kenny had the audacity to say someone else was the most dangerous man, and thus it led to Brody's response later on in the show. So this was really well done, and I just love how this whole entire AEW World Title picture is so intertwined. When WWE was at its best over the last couple of years, it was because the Cody finishes story and the bloodline drama was so intertwined, and it brought so many people into the story, whether it was Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, The Rock, Solo Sikoa, Roman Reigns, the Usos, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. All those intertwined characters really led to the best time story-wise in WWE, and now we're seeing that with the AEW World Title picture. The fact that MJF is feuding with Hangman has this history with Swerve Strickland. Kenny Omega and Swerve Strickland got in each other's way, and Swerve cost Kenny his matchup against Andrade. Andrade's still in the picture, and now he's going up against Bandito, who already got his shot at MJF but wants another shot. And then Bandito is tag team partners with Brody King, who got called the most dangerous man, which offended Swerve, and now Swerve and Brody are going at it. Like, everybody is intertwined, and it makes the main event picture feel so vibrant. But I think they're going a little too ham, because adding Kevin Knight to it as well, I was just like, what the hell? I was like, damn, y'all are stacking this a little too much. I personally would have had Kevin Knight call out Okada.
Look at my legs.
What happened to your leg?
It got wet.
What did you do?
Oh,
I spilled Coke everywhere.
You spilled Coke everywhere?
Coke? Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
She couldn't even hear me say, oh, no. And she still hit with the, oh, yes. What a pro. What a pro Harlem is.
Oh, man. I can't.
Where do we go from there?
I don't know how to follow that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was Paul Bearer. The delivery was very Paul Bearer.
Oh, man. She had to hit it. She had the best clip of ITW of 2025. She just made another one for 2026.
her and My Tiny One are gonna be doing shows together at some point, and it's gonna be the greatest
Absolutely.
podcasting anybody has ever heard. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna talk about. It's probably not gonna matter because they're both so entertaining. Y'all are just gonna have to take my word for it. We've seen Harlem. Y'all are just gonna have to take my word for it. But yeah, it's gonna be something. Oh man. Oh. Cito
Yes.
Gatto tries to get us back on track.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Cito.
Yeah, appreciate you, Cito Gatto. My thing will come back when Swerve costs Hangman. The promo will be, you already promised title shots to your friends. Did you forget about me? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good shout. That's a good shout. That's how you can connect it. They're doing a good job of connecting everything. That was my main point.
I feel bad for Mike Bailey, though. I'm like, dude, you ain't... What are you doing out here? Hangman's going after the world title. He's got his shot. Kevin Knight's doing a bunch of singles matches going after the world title. And Mike Bailey's like, hey, we're the trios champs, right? Like, we still got these titles? Like, are we gonna like do... Oh, we got a match. Okay, cool. We got a match. Oh, you guys are doing singles match. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. You guys want to like hang out and play video games or something? You want to defend these titles? Oh, those singles match? Okay. All right. Okay. Feel bad for the dude.
It's like, damn, I can't get a singles match too. Oh, we're pushing Kevin Knight now. Okay, my bad. We couldn't do a tag match. Mansoor is one half of the tag team. Like,
right.
Do a tag match.
Right. It's a standby match. We have Mansoor and Kevin Knight on standby. Mike Bailey and Mason Madden just in the back, like, so fuck us, huh? You got to do a singles match.
Oh, okay. All right.
I liked how it was all intertwined, and I'm looking forward to Swerve and Brody King. I got to get Brody more dangerous, though. That's just because Kenny Omega says you're the most dangerous man. I haven't seen it. Yet. What's he done that's dangerous? SP3.
Hey, he beat MJF in 77 seconds.
It's because Hangman came out, though. When Hangman wasn't there, he lost to MJF.
He didn't need him. He would have beat him. He would have beat him even without him.
He's just beating. He's beating dudes. Like,
and he beat the hell out of. They beat the hell out of each other. Mark Davis and Brody King. I was just like, God damn, these two men just clobbering one another for 10 minutes. That was fun.
I need it. Someone was saying that it'd be cool if Brody jump Swerve, but that's more of a heel thing. Yeah, I don't think Brody can jump Swerve, but I want like Brody King just like waiting in the parking lot for him to show up. Just like, I'm here. Let's fucking trade hands. And then maybe Brody gets the better of that exchange one way or another. Or he at least looks dangerous in the whole thing. I need him to like actually murder somebody is what I'm saying. I just need him to murder somebody. That's what I appreciate about Swerve last week. It's like, oh, you're choking this dude with a chain. Oh, you're putting him to a table. You actually look dangerous right now. Brody's just having wrestling matches. All right. I think everybody's having wrestling matches. The Young Bucks looked more dangerous last night. You know, they were doing some shit. Cash Wheeler just diving headfirst to a table looked more dangerous.
That's dangerous.
A danger to himself, but still more dangerous.
Also dangerous. But I'm looking forward to Brody and Swerve a lot.
Look, Brody King can prove he's dangerous just by like tossing Darby off of something. I don't care if they're both baby faces right now. He just runs into Darby Allin and he's like, I remember you. Yep. And just throw him off of a balcony out there. Then he'll prove he's dangerous again.
Hey, I really enjoyed Gabe Kidd versus Orange Cassidy last night. And Darby, it seems like we're setting up Darby and OC versus the Dogs, not the War Dogs. You saw that? You saw that graphic? It said the dog.
Yeah, I was like, I think they showed that.
Add the War back, please.
Yeah, just the Dogs. I don't know. All right, sure.
It's like, this doesn't work. This doesn't work without the alliteration of war.
Yeah, that was a good match between Gabe and Orange Cassidy. They'll probably do a tag team match on like Dynamite. It feels like the the Revolution match is some type of step between Darby and Gabe. They got to have something. You can't just do a tag team match with those guys. At some point,
maybe it's the best. You're gonna need something different on the card because there's a lot of singles matches on the card so far. So,
and you got a
maybe
Texas Death Match,
tag team stip match. They're always known for that.
Yeah, and if you got a Texas Death Match as well, like doing something with Darby and Gabe, like they're gonna do some dumb shit on. So
True.
you don't want to like overdo it when it comes to that. I do think that the Dogs has the same energy as the band in TNA. Yeah, maybe they do a tag team match at Revolution, and then they do like the crazy stipulation match. Maybe you just do that on a Dynamite. They've shown they're not afraid to do crazy stipulation stuff on Dynamite. Maybe it's a coffin match on Dynamite.
They've been doing nothing but pay-per-view quality matches over the last like month and a half on Dynamite. So
yeah,
I want to see. And then next week they set up a AEW Women's World Championship match. That's really like it's like Tony Khan. Don't you realize that you could really like take a step forward, even further than you are? Where right now, fan perception wise, AEW fans are much more pleased with the product of the company right now in comparison to WWE fans with the road to WrestleMania so far. You could take such a step forward and even get maybe some new fans to be interested in AEW if you just gave a molecule of a fuck about your women's division. Like, he doesn't give no fucks about this women's division. I am sorry to say that. Like, if he cared even slightly about the women's division, I think AEW would be such in a better place. It would be, I would say, I would be on here and be like, AEW's firing on all cylinders, but I can't because one of the cylinders is the women's division, and that is not firing at all.
Unfortunately, Penelope Ford got hurt last night because I still believe that they were going to win the titles, and they couldn't because of her injury, so they had to do a DQ finish, and then they did the post-match attack, and Penelope was just out of it. I'm glad, like you mentioned earlier, they did a exclusive post-show promo like from the parking lot. Penelope was there just on crutches, and she was still going, so hopefully she's not going to be out too long. This isn't necessarily her fault. Certainly last night she might just cut out that top rope moonsault altogether because that's the second time that it is not gone well for her. The first one just seemed like it was an unfortunate accident. She just landed awkwardly, but they were better positioned. She got hit with the parting of the Red Sea last night.
Harley was not in the right spot. Willow was.
She was in the right spot. She flat out just like took a step to the side. And Willow was still there, but didn't have like fully enough time to react, but
to make up for the space.
Yeah. But Penelope got hit with the parting of the Red Sea, and unfortunately got injured off of it. I guess they'll pivot to Megan and Lena now winning the titles. I was on top of Penelope getting hurt, which is always unfortunate anytime anybody gets injured. I'm just like, man, can we just get the tag team titles off of them so we can do something with the TBS title? That's all I'm looking for right now.
I still think they're going to do Willow and Megan Bayne at Revolution. And I think the whole reason why they did the DQ finish and how awkward it looked is because, yes, I 100% agree with you. I thought when they booked this matchup, I was like, oh, Mega Bad's going to win. Mega Bad's gonna win here because why would you do? It's the same theory that I had with Tekla and Chris Statlander having their match 2 weeks after their last match. It was like, oh, Tekla's gonna win this time. Mega Bad was going to win this time, and that's why they did the awkward kind of DQ finish, is because they were supposed to win. They didn't want them to lose the match now that Penelope was out of it, so they called the audible, and they was like, Lena, just go out there, hit her with the title, and let them call the DQ, basically. I think that was the audible on the fly because of the injury, so I understand it. I honestly, at this point, I would do Lena and Bane as the champions and make it like a free bird with the mega bad. They're all mega bad, and that's the whole stable, and it's basically a free bird rule where they all three of them can defend the titles, and then you can do Penelope when she's healthy with Lena as the champions, and then do Bane going after the TBS championship or even potentially the AEW Women's World Championship. But with Ford potentially being out a little bit, I think they should do Bane and Willow at Revolution.
I thought like if Megan and Penelope were supposed to win, should have just had Megan pin Penelope last night. Sorry, Megan Pin Harley. Sorry.
They do the Shawn Michaels Triple
H. Yeah. And Megan just pin Harley, and then just have Megan and Lena defend the titles anyway. But I understand doing a DQ now. You can do the Babes of Wrath against Megan and Lena, and then I assume Megan and Lena will win that match, and then we'll see if they do Megan and Willow at the pay-per-view when it comes to that. Jon Moxley, El Clone. This match, it's not that I was super concerned about it. I thought there could be a little bit of a styles clash of like, all right, let's see how this works, and it worked really well. I thought they had a really good match, and thought Moxley kind of played to El Clone's strengths, and El Clone kind of played to Moxley's strengths. It didn't feel super long, which is good. Apparently it was like 14 minutes. Like it kind of flew by for me. I don't know about you. And Moxley, of course, got the victory with the paradigm shift and Death Rider. And I thought El Clone still should have just like, spaced out of it like he did the Jay Driller. But a good match. I had some concerns of like, oh, this could styles clash a little bit. But Jon Moxley, he prides himself on just like, all right. And Renee mentioned it during the pre-match thing. I could have lived without the Marina promo pre-match, honestly. But she mentioned like Jon wants to test himself against different styles. Like, well, we're gonna see. And shout out to Jon Moxley, he's the best.
Yeah, I love the little interaction when he did the clone thing, and he was like, that was a nice little moment. The curb stomp on the apron looked vicious. I loved Clone basically because Moxley moved out of his one-step moonsault in the ring, then he did it on the barricade out on the outside. El Clone was really good, and like you said, that moonsault, that leaping moonsault to the second rope and then out to the outside was a great spot, great moment of the matchup. And I actually like this match maybe slightly better than the Mark Davis match from last week. I thought it was a better showcase for what El Clone can do in the ring, and really put like a spotlight on him. So he's been good in the two singles matches he's had on Dynamite. He's not won either one of them, but he's had strong showings in both, against Mark Briscoe for the TNT Championship last month, and then this match against Moxley here. And I like the whole story is that Moxley is beating the rest of the Don Callis family members in eliminator matches, while Takeshita is basically getting a rest until Revolution, while Moxley is fighting every single week. You're going to see maybe that leads to Takeshita being the one to dethrone him at Revolution, because if he doesn't, it's like, damn, Moxley's been wrestling all these weeks, and then Takeshita has been well rested, and then he also lose. That doesn't make too much sense to me. So I hope that this is leading to Moxley's being worn down by all the Don Callis family members, which makes it easier for Takeshita to win. And then Okada has to find another way to throw shade on Takeshita because he's also a champion, which I think Takeshita is going to win a title tomorrow night at New Beginning.
I was trying to think. Yeah. Okay. For some reason, I thought it was Wednesday and not Thursday. I was like, wait, there's a New Beginning show on Thursday? Days don't have meaning anymore at this point.
Sure. Uh-oh. Is Jeremy frozen? Or am I frozen?
You can.
There we go. You were frozen. Oh.
Okay, I froze.
There you go.
I thought Takeshita might beat Moxley, and that would be the title that he ends up winning. And then because then he has that over Okada. I was like, yeah, you got your title, but I got the title that you could not get. Or if he does win tomorrow, like they just don't reference that he actually won this title because it's not an AEW title, and so they're like, hey, he still doesn't have a title. It's not that important. Who really cares?
Or we can finally change the dynamic a little bit where Takeshita says, well, I got 2 titles. You used to have 2 titles, but you don't have them anymore.
I'd be fine with that.
I got the title that you used to had.
I'd be fine with that. Anything else from Dynamite?
That is it for the most part. I think we addressed everything, all the major segments of the night. There wasn't no Osprey video package.
Yeah,
I noted that.
They were waiting to get the clearance on My Sacrifice for next week.
There you go. Smart move. But Bandito versus Andrade. Oh my God, that doesn't even need a story. That's might be the best match at Revolution.
Yeah, Andrade just like coming out and aura farming. Yep, it's out here. Bandito. I guess Bandito's wrist is good, which is nice. So since he's been sidelined for a little bit. Speaking of, real quickly, what was your moment of Wednesday, SP3?
My moment of Wednesday had to be just the overall chaos, insanity, and lovely fun violence that was Mile High Madness. That was just great stuff overall. 10 guys just going out there and just having a blast, having an absolute ripper in front of a hot crowd in Denver, Colorado. And the crowd was great last night as well. Another sellout for AEW Dynamite. So yeah, the Mile High Madness, that was awesome. So that's my moment of Wednesday.
My moment of Wednesday is just Andrade walking out there, looking gangster, standing there, getting his match, and never being seen again. I gotta respect a man who gets paid that much just to go out there and have that much aura and get cheers, unlike other people who stand there and do nothing and no one reacts or cares from Monday Night Raw.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of that. Oh, yeah, it should have. Yeah, you're probably right. Jules, it should have been
F that was good.
Dallas, F Ice 2. That was great.
That was very good. Denver was on a full-on fuck 'em up chant. They went fuck 'em up Brody, and they went fuck Don Callis, fuck Ice 2.
Oh, yeah, that chant, and then the one more table.
Yeah,
when they were
one more table was
on
good.
2 more tables.
Yeah, they were counting the tables there. They're like, nope, we see that one set up. We see that one set up. You got to use them. We ain't stupid. We know how this works. Yeah, that was good. New Japan, New Beginning USA. It is tomorrow night. It is Thursday, not Wednesday, like I thought. And the show is on Friday. It's in New Jersey. I know Jules is going to be there. Hope you have a good time, Jules. The show looks really good on paper. We'll kind of run through it here. Fred Rosser and David Finlay in, I assume, David Finlay's final New Japan match.
Maybe, possibly. We don't know. I'll go with Rosser to win, though.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, if Finley's gone, just put Rosser over. Like, it's fine. I can see that. I could also just see Finley going out on the win. It's not like Rosser. Like, I like Fred Rosser, but he's just kind of an opening card guy on the, especially now that like New Japan Strong is not a thing. He's just like kind of only on these shows. They're not going to push him to like a high level spot. Like David Finlay could just get a victory.
He's just at NJPW Academy.
Yeah, so I could see Finlay winning. I'll go with Finlay. Strong openweight title, Ishii against Bolton, Oleg. I'm kind of feeling Oleg.
I think Oleg might win this one, even though I think this is gonna be one of, outside of the Takeshita matches, probably be Bolton Oleg's best singles match because Ishii is just that great. But yeah, I'll go with Oleg to win the title.
Ricochet, Taiji, Ishimori, AEW National Championship. Should be a great match. I don't see Ricochet losing.
Nah, he's not gonna win. He's not gonna lose. But I think that if this gets enough time, this could be a low key banger because Ishimori and Ricochet, they were like kind of stalwarts of the junior heavyweight style in the 2010s, and now I really want the national title to just be like a junior heavyweight title for AEW. Just have only juniors. You don't have to call it an outright junior title, but Jack Perry fits the junior style as well. So just make a junior title.
El Desperado and Kushida against Jordan Oliver and Alec Price. I Kushida taking the fall to Oliver and Price would make some sense here to me, considering Kushida kind of bounces around and everything, and he's part of MLW more than New Japan at this point. But this is a very fun matchup. Kushida and Desperado coming together to team, two of the most decorated juniors, maybe the two most Liger's there, but two of the most decorated juniors of all time, and then Oliver and Price, who, hopefully they can get there at some point. Now, I don't know if they'll be the level of Kushida and Desperado, but as far as their talent and the just being signed by AEW and everything, this could be a really good showcase for them. So I'll go with Oliver and Price.
Yeah, I think Oliver and Price win, and then Kushida turns on Despy post-match. Turn Kushida heel in every promotion, even New Japan.
Yeah, Oliver and Price in best Super Junior Tag League would make some sense.
I could see them in the Super Junior tournament. When you don't,
they just announced the schedule.
It's going to start on May 14th. It ends on June 7th. You might as well, you had Nick Wayne in the tournament last year. You had Kevin Knight in the tournament last year. Wayne is just coming back from injury, so I don't know if you want to have him go over to Japan. You might want to have him defend the title that you didn't relinquish him from. So, I say Oliver and Price is going to be the representatives from AEW in the tournament. Why not?
Phantasmo against Takeshita for the World TV Championship. And you mentioned you thought Takeshita was going to win. Is he just going to be time limit guy? It's a 15-minute time limit.
They've already done that. They did that last year. They did a time limit draw in a TV title match. Don't do it again. Just have Takeshita win.
I'm going time limit. And then Takeshi's got to face Phantasmo in a no time limit match at whatever the next New Japan show.
It's just gonna be. He's gonna go to time limits and then have time limit matches right after.
Takeshi is just going to be the dude who's like, I'm no more fucking time. I'm not agreeing to a match if there's a time limit attached to it. I'm tired of this bullshit. Give me 20 minutes for this Continental title. Give me 15 minutes for this TV title. He's going to show up on NXT. Be like, hey, you're in a speed title match. 5 minutes. No, fuck you.
Damn it, no.
A time limit Takeshi.
That's actually cool.
IWGP Tag Team titles, Knockout Brothers against the Gates of Agony. I'm really looking forward to this match. We've talked about it a lot, but Knockout Brothers, maybe the best tag team in the world right now.
Yeah.
They're awesome. Gates of Agony have delivered when they've been in these kind of spots. So I don't think Gates of Agony are going to win, but I do expect this to be a really good match.
Yeah, I think this could be a low-key banger as well with the right amount of time. And Toa Leona has been on a ripper as of late. He was awesome in the trios matchup on Collision. He was awesome last night in Mile High Madness, but I think KOB retains.
IWGP Women's Title Series against Athena.
Match of the night.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily. Match of the night.
That main event.
I know the main event's going to be awesome, but Athena and Shuri, that's a dream match for me. Those are two of my favorite women's wrestlers in the world. I love Athena. I don't think she's winning this title, though.
I don't think she's going to win either. And here's my only, maybe not match of the night. They're going to give them 10 minutes. And it's going to be great for 10 minutes. I'm just a little concerned that even though it's the co-main event, they're just not going to give it the full amount of time to have it reach the level of match of the night, where I know Tsuji and Andrade are going to get every bit of 25 to 30 minutes.
That is
Now
true.
look,
But they do. King of the North is right. They do give the woman time on the U.S. shows. Not so much in Japan, but on the U.S.
yeah.
shows they do.
Look, 12 to
But
18, that's my sweet spot anyway. So
to also be fair to you, that's usually when Mercedes Moné is in the matchup.
yeah, Mercedes gets that time. I don't know about anybody else getting that time. No, I think they actually will give them like a decent amount of time. Like I would say, Mercedes got 26 minutes against Kyrie at Battle in the Valley. That was the main though. No, Okada and Tanahashi was the main. They got 26 minutes there. I hope they get time. Don't get me wrong. I'm being a little stereotypical that they just never get this fucking time, and I'm a little concerned that they don't get it. If they get 18 plus minutes, yes, match of the night. Even if they don't quite get that much time, it's probably going to be a really strong match. You got strong resurgence, Mercedes and Vecker. I know this is part of a tournament. I got 12 minutes. Willow and Mercedes got 13 minutes. I guess if you want to say that she got injured.
25 minutes of matches. Yeah. It would have been longer.
Yeah. All right. Mercedes and Momo got 20 minutes. They got 19 minutes. Mercedes and Hazuki got 26 minutes. So Mercedes got time. We'll see if they have the same level.
Anybody else can get time.
Yeah. We'll see if anybody else can get that time. So I hope they do. And main event, Tsuji against Andrade, IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. I don't think Andrade is going to win, but obviously being the global title and not the heavyweight title, there's a little bit more he could do this. It also just doesn't feel like they're just going to beat Tsuji when he's the champion. And Andrade's taking losses. It's not like they're protecting Andrade from taking losses either.
I mean, to be fair, he's taking losses in AEW. I haven't seen him take a lot of losses outside of AEW. So
yeah, but this
will be his first big loss outside of AEW.
He ain't taking losses on these, France promotions and stuff. Like,
and he went to a count out with Charles Mason at HOG. I watched that matchup. That was good though. That was good. That boot to the fan's face, awesome. But yeah, I think this would be a great matchup. But yeah, I think that Tsuji has to win, especially after the promo he cut after New Beginning, saying that he wants to fight through the AEW stars. And I've been loving Tsuji's comments on AEW. I've been loving Callum Newman. I talked to him for Sports Illustrated. First piece is coming out this week where he talked about AEW. I'm digging how these New Japan top stars are talking about AEW. So you can't wash that all away by just having him lose at the first hurdle. You have to have him win here, and then maybe the next USA show he faces another AEW guy.
I also kind of think he's going to lose the IWGP heavyweight title. I'm not saying it's going to be soon, before he loses the global title.
No, I think he's definitely losing the global title before he loses the heavyweight title.
Okay. Because the global title is going to be to someone probably outside of New Japan.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they want his first loss being to someone outside of New Japan. That's my rationale for this,
okay.
By the way.
That's a point. That's a good point.
I think, like, if he loses the heavyweight title, then it's like, all right, he lost that title to one of our guys. Now he has this title. Sure, he can lose to an AEW guy. Especially the way Tsuji's been talking, it's like his first loss is going to be to an AEW guy, and then he's going to lose to a New Japan guy. It's like, well, an AEW guy already beat you, so what's the big accomplishment here? That's my theory on things, or my logic on things.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So that's New Japan, New Beginning USA. Should be a great show, and a lot of fantastic matches on it. And I'll have it on. I think I'm on SmackDown coverage. Unfortunately, get to watch.
Yeah, I'll have both shows on at the same time, but probably be paying more attention to New Japan. You can watch SmackDown without ever looking at the screen.
Yeah,
sometimes.
That's very true. Honestly, that's very true. Mike Johnson tweeted out that WWE and AJ Styles have worked out a new contract. AJ Styles said that yesterday.
Yeah, this is basically like reaffirming what AJ Styles said.
Yeah. Why is this like a report from PW Insider? No offense to them. I think Mike does good work for the
He does
most
great
part.
stuff. Yeah.
But
Actually got to meet him for the first time.
nice.
2024 when Hammerstein. So yeah,
Okay.
good guy.
Yeah. And I think he does really good work, but it's like, yeah, AJ said this last night that he's staying with the company and working with younger talent. I don't know why you need that like confirmed by Mike Johnson. Yeah, breaking news: Mike Johnson has finally watched the Talking Shop podcast.
Y'all are foul. I love it, but y'all are foul. Oh, man,
okay. Anything else, SP3? Yeah, have you caught up on Love Is Blind?
I not all the way, so it's
Okay.
probably better if we talk on Tuesday before the final episodes drop. I'll be watching all of it, but I did watch one of the other episodes, and I already saw like the coming attractions for the episodes that I haven't watched yet. With I see why y'all are talking about Chris, because my jaw was on the floor when he was like, "Yeah, your man's too submissive for you." I was like,
oh, that was just one part of his whole thing.
And Bree is no better. Bree, like, she totally basically ignored him and made him very insecure because she was so hung up on the fact that, oh, we didn't even talk like that. We didn't talk to anybody. So weird. It's like, well, shut up. Ugh.
Yeah. It does get worse.
And now I do got wifey now calling Amber and Jordan Hacksaw and the old lady. She calls them. she's like, yeah, I don't think any of these couples are gonna make it as outside of Hacksaw and the old lady.
Well, they I won't spoil anything, but
oh no, I saw the coming attraction.
Okay.
But they having issues too.
Yeah,
so.
they have some issues. I don't watch the coming up stuff. Like I know like my wife watches it. I will close my eyes and like plug my ears and everything. Like I don't like any of that. I wanna see it when I see it. So yeah, we had to finish. They only released 2 episodes for this latest batch. We watched the first episode. We got to watch the second episode. We'll probably do that tonight after I do Spotlight. Okay. Results of our poll question. Did you see the poll question? Do you actually know what it is? Okay.
No.
Who is the most dangerous man in it? I just said who is the most dangerous in AEW. I didn't even say man, although all the options are men. Who is the most dangerous in AEW? 9% said Darby Allin. 17% said Brody King. 36% said Swerve Strickland. Do you want to take a guess at who the 4th option was and who won this poll with 38%?
Who was it?
Tony Khan is the most dangerous in AEW.
Y'all are fools. You knew when you put Tony Khan, you knew that was gonna win.
I mean, he kind of is the most dangerous in AEW. He puts together the whole show. He can book a dangerously bad show if he wants.
Most dangerous.
I need Tony. Tony should use that as the theme for like when he comes out.
Most dangerous. He should dance. He should do the Nana dance to it.
Has he done the Nana dance? He did the Daniel Garcia
so.
dance.
I think so. I think he has.
Okay. You have matches of the week?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Matches of the week for this past week from the best match reviewer in the game, SP3.
Don't worry, guys. I think either Sunday or Monday, I will be putting out my star ratings once again for the month of February as well. Honorable mention to Brody and Mark Davis from last night, as well as the Rascals and FTR from Collision. But number 5, I went with Moxley and El Clone from Dynamite last night. Just a great clash of styles. I enjoyed that one a lot. Then I went with Jet Set Rodeo versus The Demand from Collision last Saturday. Then I went with Claudio Castagnoli versus Josh Alexander from Collision last Saturday. That's number 3. Number 2, Masquerade Dorada versus Hechicero. I'm telling y'all need to watch this. This was just great stuff, great action. That moonsault off the top of the entranceway was absolutely batshit insane. I loved every minute of it. And then number 1 for this week, Mile High Madness, just a balls to the wall, just Anarchy in the Arena, the perfect spinoff of Anarchy in the Arena in every way possible. I enjoyed every minute of it, and yeah, it's just splendid action throughout. High risk, violence, music in the stands, around ringside. Great showcase for the Rascals. The FTR are just great douchebag heels, and getting their comeuppance and going through tables was great. And the demand, they need to be trios champions already. I will repeat saying that. And actually a great showing from Jack Perry. He had everybody jacking off, as Jeremy Lambert would say.
That's right. As everybody in the chat would be saying, we reach ejaculation when Jack Perry is in the main event, folks. What did we accomplish today, SP3?
That we accomplished talking about a great episode of Dynamite. But as usual with me and Jeremy Lambert, you get a complete variety show when we are here together, because you got talking about 50 and TI, we got talking about the NBA and the sad state of my Los Angeles Lakers, and even sadder state of the Knicks fans that still believe they're winning a championship this year. So you got some NBA talk, you got some music talk, we got some television talk, and we talked about pro wrestling, as well as we actually did see some of Talking Shop and didn't release it as a report. Love you, Mike.
And it's the biggest thing we accomplished is we watch the shows and listen to the podcast and don't pretend like we have inside information.
New information. He's staying in WWE, guys.
Oh man. Oh, I don't want to rip on Mike too much.
No.
But he put out a report not too long ago of, it was like Colby Carino. Grant, he labeled this as a report of like PW Insider has confirmed that Colby Carino has signed with NWA. And I sent this to Sean. I was like, Sean, breaking news. Colby Carino is signed with NWA as revealed in a press release 2 weeks ago. Because they put out a press release literally like 2 weeks before Mike confirmed that Colby Carino had signed with the NWA. I was like, oh.
It's like half of like the Wrestling Observer newsletter is just Fightful Select reports for the past week.
Yes. Yeah. We got enough beef with that one. Oh no, I gotta yell it. So in our group, in our work chat on Slack, bless the Luis. He's fantastic. He's a great person. But he just put like the Mike Johnson news in the chat of like, hey, did we report on this? Like, yeah, I listened to Talking Shop last night to report on this. What do you?
We can add a note that Mike Johnson has confirmed that he also watched Talking Shop.
How dare you, Grace? Louis is very offended right now.
This is true.
Let them know where they can find you at SP3.
Find me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. I will be live with Jimmy Macarim in about 20-25 minutes for AE Ramble, reviewing last night's AEW Dynamite. I enjoyed it, which means that Jimmy hated it. I know he hated Mile High Mayhem. He hates fun. And that was a whole bunch of fun, and he hates fun. So I know he probably hated that. And it's the Young Bucks, Jack Perry in a matchup?
Yeah.
He hated it. He doesn't like the Rascals either. Oh, he's good. It's gonna be a great show. It's gonna be a great show. He's just gonna be crapping all over.
Does Jimmy smoke? Does Jimmy smoke?
No.
Oh. I was gonna say like he should watch the match high and see what he thinks of it. You know, like
Fair.
that's
Fair.
That's what. Yeah, what did we accomplish today? Oh yeah. Harlem's running.
Yes.
Harlem's running is what we accomplished today. That's a good shout. Lab class.
Well done. Yes. Oh yes.
I'll be back on Spotlight tonight. Myself and Steven Jensen, 6:30-ish. We typically start at like 6:40. But 6:30-ish, we'll be talking about all the stuff in professional wrestling and some boxing stuff as well. So, because we got to talk Mayweather and Pacquiao, because why not? And tomorrow, Joel and I will be back. Luke Gallows scheduled to join us at 11 o'clock tomorrow. Hopefully that still goes through. We'll ask him if AJ Styles has signed the new contract with WWE. Yeah, did you hear about this, Luke? Did you know about this?
Oh, I can't wait. I'll be watching.
So Gallows on the show tomorrow. He's on to promote MLW coming up in Atlanta. So shout out as always to MLW for setting stuff up with us. Otherwise, we will talk to everybody then. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate all the love, so the support, the super chats, all that fun stuff. Everyone, enjoy your Thursday. Catch y'all tomorrow.